You know, you gotta peel the skin off it first. You gotta wrap it around your finger like this, kid. You gotta put it right in there. And you got.
I thought you were dead.
Sun out of your eyes and be yourselves.
Heard you were dead.
She's dead, wrapped in plastic.
That man's dead back there.
It was worse than dead. Must be dead. Is this a dead man, Duck?
Oh, God! Oh, Jesus Christ!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Gym Class. Roast Mortem. I am Tom.
I am your professor of gym, Travis.
Oh, Gym Professor Travis. I like that, actually.
Yeah.
I am your gym rat, Cody. Not really.
Tonight we got something sexual, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to guess. It's sexy.
Yeah, it
His
is
name
very
isn't
sexy.
Jim.
It's very sexy. Before we do that, how's everyone did things?
I'm tired. I'm here, but you know what? I love being here, but fuck, I have been busy.
Busy
And I got,
bee.
Heavy Hole is doing really well, so thanks for everyone who's been listening
Yeah,
there.
cool, yeah.
Yeah.
But, just double dutying, so
Yeah.
here we are.
You're basically like Jerry Seinfeld in the Bee movie.
Yeah, B.
God bless that movie for trying.
Cody, how about you?
Good. Uneventful. Still looking for jobbies.
Oh,
Doing the thing.
I
Yes, how was yours?
got bit by a spider.
You hate
Did you really?
those.
Yeah, I did.
Where?
I was cleaning out my closet and one of them bit me. Fucking idiot.
Anatomically where?
Are you sure it wasn't your lobster?
Oh no!
Was it your wet closet?
I thought my new lobster died, but he was just sleeping.
Oh,
No, he
they
was
do
molting. He was molting.
Oh, that tricky fuck.
Yeah, what a bitch. What a whore.
good. What a bitch whore lobster.
Yeah.
That's what I say every single time I go to Red Lobster. And I say the same thing about the biscuits.
Those are delicious.
Those biscuits.
Yeah. So,
Biscuits got me dirty.
Not sponsored.
so you get bit by a spider that's coming out of the closet. So gay spider,
This gay spider.
very progressive.
I mean, but basically, I think I might have powers now.
I was about to say, like, how much comes out of your wrists when you,
How much cum comes out of my
how
wrist?
much spider cum, like, flies out of your wrists when you make a certain, hand sign?
Well, I could do that before I got bit by a spider, but now I'm like Peter Parker.
What power? Okay, so Peter Parker, he's an accomplished photographer.
Yeah.
What have you done?
I took very good pictures this week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What of? And where'd you send them?
It wasn't to me. I haven't seen
Did your
shit.
boss look like Hitler?
It might have been a dick pic, but,
All right, cool. That's very good.
What filter did you use? Sepia?
I used Sunset.
That's a good one.
All right, so that's our weeks. Got Travis bit by a spider, Cody's unemployed, and
Still,
Tom is tired and doing his thing, I guess, which is pretty boring.
Yeah.
Let's get into sexual stuff. I am excited for tonight's event. So who is on the boy?
All right. So if you don't know who tonight's roast is, I mean,
You can't read.
if you can't read, I mean, you obviously know who it is. But if you don't know who it is, then you're probably poor or you just don't understand freedom. Let's put it out there.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
And they
I like
probably
this,
can't
yeah.
read either.
Yeah, bro, you can't read. I forgot about the
yeah.
illiterate thing.
He's all about that. He loves people that read.
There we go.
So tonight, in the words of Nathaniel Diddley, it's all about the Benjamin's child, which is a very current reference.
Oh, geez, what year is it?
Aged like Swiss.
Oh, I got to pick up my Jinkos from the dry cleaners.
Yes, we're doing Benjamin Franklin.
Oh shit!
Nice. I know him.
Hell yeah,
I've
hell
seen him
yeah.
a few times.
Now, I feel like a lot of you probably saw that Drunk History episode about him. You know, trust me, they fucked up because Benjamin Franklin was much, much, much more of a scumbag than they did in just that stupid Drunk History.
Is that Jack Black?
It was Jacob Black, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I think I remember that one.
And Michael Cera was William Franklin?
Oh, I don't
think?
know.
Yeah.
I'm excited because, like, I feel like this guy was glossed over in some history classes because he didn't make presidential rank. Like, they didn't teach him to avoid conflating him with a president.
Well,
Yeah,
he's got such a spotty history that if you just ask a history teacher, what did this guy do? They go, well, he was very important. You see that signature? You see that signature?
Oh.
Not everyone gets a sign there, okay? He's important.
But I feel like he's so important that most people think that he is a president.
Yes.
Because he's on the 100, and, I don't
who's
know.
the other? Hamilton? Was Hamilton ever a president?
No,
Yes.
Hamilton wasn't the president.
Yeah, okay, that's the other one.
But okay. Yeah. I don't know.
It's Franklin night. And
It's Franklin night, and he's so much of a scumbag that tonight, or this is going to be the first two-parter.
Oh,
Yes.
So get your stamina juice in your body, everyone.
a large one.
Ben Franklin was actually 70 years old when America signed the Declaration of Independence.
Wow.
He was the oldest of the founding fathers, and you kind of think about those founding fathers, and you think, like, these really old, stuffy guys.
Yeah, they're already crunchy.
But that really wasn't the case, because most of them were in their early 20s.
Yeah, most of them
Yeah.
were the assholes that you would fight at a bar
Yeah.
when you're just trying to get a drink.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's the same people.
Sam Adams
Right.
always looks like he's like in his 20s, though, I feel.
I think
No.
when he started making beer.
Well, Sam Adams was actually the second oldest.
Wow.
He was 53 at the time.
Media.
But if you think about that age gap, 53 to 70.
And now there's like actual 20-something years old who are nay-naying with these children and whipping their hair back and forth.
Did you see that baseball team that one of the ex-baseball players came into the locker room? They were all playing Fortnite, so he took his baseball bat and smashed the TV.
Oh, my God, I did not.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, that's the type of people that signed the Declaration of Independence, all that shit.
Same thing.
Anti-Fortnitists.
So, because Ben's been around for so long, he's got a lifetime worth of douchebaggery before he became an American mythological deity that he is.
Right.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah, he's got history.
What is his story?
Yes, his story. We're gonna get into that.
I made a joke, see.
Yeah, that's your dad joke,
Really?
or your feminist joke.
Yeah, whatever you want.
that wasn't feminist.
Yeah,
that's
they
your
always go,
Cody's,
his-
Cody's a feminist tonight.
Yeah, his story.
Yeah, I know her story is a feminist thing, so I thought
Yeah.
his story.
Seems like you were calling it out.
I didn't
bring it up.
Who brought it up? It was the table.
I'm proud of you.
And for someone that's portrayed as a patriotic American, he was very not patriotic.
What?
So?
Yes.
I didn't understand
in
that.
fact, he didn't really like America as a whole.
He's on the big dollar money.
I
zone.
know, right?
What the fucks?
All right, so guy doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it. He doesn't believe in the ideas or the moral platforms behind it. And, it wouldn't be roast mortem if we didn't talk a lot about his dick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see what I see
So-
where we're going. Okay.
Yeah, we owe you that, the
We
listener.
owe
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin this gentleman.
Yeah, I think he owes us.
Okay, so let's jump right in and talk about the dick that he came from.
Got it.
Like the guy that shot that Franklin juice.
Yes.
So Benjamin Franklin was born in 1709 in Boston, Massachusetts. His father, Josiah Franklin, was a candle and soap maker that moved from England to America, to the American colonies 10 years prior.
Back then, that was the same thing.
I
It
like
was
that,
It was
yeah.
candle is just soap with a wick.
Yeah, exactly.
Scented wax. That's that
That's it.
you might want to rub in your armpits sometime.
Oh, I'm dirty.
Yeah,
Let me just put this on me. That man, his father, really liked to fuck because Benjamin was 10 of 17 children.
He was 10 of 17 children. He was that fat.
How many?
He was
yeah.
one.
Yeah,
One
he
of
was
17.
he was all of one of he was a 10. He's a 10th child.
He was a 10th.
17.
Yeah, no, he was 10 children altogether.
Yeah.
I'm just being an idiot.
He had legs coming out of his head.
Yeah, I was just imagining a school bus just of conjoined dectuplets.
Yeah, with receding male pattern baldness out of the womb. I like the imagery.
Yeah,
And they all have just weird ideas.
It's like that game Inside. That's him.
oh yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, that meatball with legs.
Yes, he's a meatball of legs.
Good meatball.
Benjamin Franklin always thought that his upbringing was poor because Ben Franklin saw artisans and craftsmen to be the lowest form of profession.
No.
That's what he thought. But in reality, his father was pretty well off. He wasn't rich, but he certainly wasn't poor.
He could feed 17 kids and a mortgage.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. And he noticed that Ben was one of those brainy smart boys. So he's like, I'm going to send him off to grammar school. Maybe he'll not have to make soap and candles.
All right. Good move. Good dad. Good dad.
Yeah. Well, the first 9 of them, candle duty.
Candle duty.
Got a lot of candles.
Yeah.
It's dark here.
You don't have electricity, so you just candling.
Yeah, candling.
Have you ever seen that porn where they put the candle in the butthole?
Yeah.
Then they light it?
No,
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
it sounds good.
It was actually called Benjamin Franklin 2, Super Franklin.
Nice.
The boogaloo, electric boogaloo. Yeah.
Was it like a porn star, like with the the old garb that they used to wear, and just a pillow under his shirt, just buffing out, and the fake wig and the glasses.
Let me see your butthole.
Yes. Ooh, let me see.
So Ben learned how to read, write, and his arithmetic, which actually wasn't that uncommon because 75% of males in Boston actually were literate.
Okay.
Oh.
You think about back then, everyone can't read or write, but that really wasn't the case.
It's not that hard.
Boston-
Talking to you,
yeah.
Juicer.
Boston's always been clever, I feel.
Yeah. So after 3 years of school, his father realized he couldn't afford to send Ben to college.
Oh.
So like most people Ben's age, he took an apprenticeship, and that apprenticeship was with his daddy.
That's cheating.
Yeah.
That's just working for Dad.
Yeah.
But wait, what does his dad work? I thought it was just a soap and wax guy. Or
Well,
something.
yeah, so he's there making his Yankee candles.
I'm assuming it
wicks.
was the household. I'm assuming the household is very common for the time where they would live above where they worked.
Yeah, probably.
Most likely a lot
Probably.
of, wares and stuff. You just owned one piece of property. You had a storefront, and then everyone lived upstairs.
Yeah.
So he was by accident an apprentice all the time. Couldn't get away from it.
Yeah. Very quickly, his dad was like, this guy's too much of a nerd to do this job because he's fucking shit up. He can't do the Yankee candles. He doesn't know how to make smells smell good.
Oh, that's.
He doesn't know how to sell the maple syrup with the candles that you're supposed to get when you go to Vermont.
I never ordered any brown candles.
And he's like, go apprentice with your brother James, who owns a printing press. Now, printing. Do you guys know about Ben Franklin printing?
I have a feeling I know something, but you might teach me more.
I'm bereft here.
All right, so printing. That is Benny's industry that he's most renowned for. Printing books, newspapers, mail, money. But back in the day, an apprenticeship was more of like a contractual indentured servitude.
Oh, like internships today.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, kind of, except you can't leave them.
Oh, that's fine. That's like college today.
Yeah. He signed up when he was 12, and he was contractually there for 9 years. So that meant that whether Ben liked it or not, he was working until he was 21 with his brother.
Don't worry, Ben. Since you're my brother, I'll let you borrow my pen when you sign this contract.
That's mine. Mine is mine. My quill is my quill. Do you know what's stronger than the power of a pen?
A gun.
A sword. And a gun. Sword gun.
Oh,
Yeah, the sword gun.
blade.
Very important.
Yeah. So after a few years, James Franklin started the New England Courant in 1721. It was one of 4 papers in Boston, and Ben, the smarty boy that he was, became an editor. His brother was like, I don't know, you should write something in it.
Yeah, we're just trying to fill this up with mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
Put actual words on the paper this edition, and we'll see how it does.
Ben turned the paper into a very spicy paper.
How so?
So he would often attack the Boston establishment and stir up gossip on prominent figures in the city.
Uh-oh.
And thus began Benjamin Franklin's long career into shitty tabloid journalism.
Uh-oh.
Bat Boy, is he real? Of course.
That's the type of shit he was writing.
I love that.
Wow.
National Enquirer would Ben Franklin nowadays be writing for that shit. Now, Ben, he also hid behind his gossip and criticism of people and other papers by hiding behind cryptic pen names or pseudonyms.
Oh, yeah, some of these were fun.
Yeah, so I'm going to name a few of them. I got Silence Dogood,
Yeah, that was a national treasure.
Harry Meanwell,
All right,
Okay.
it's kind of lazy.
I see what's going on.
Richard Saunders.
Travis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, guy.
Sounding it. Whoa!
That's right.
Right in the... Whoa!
Egg
I didn't
roll.
even know that. I didn't put that together.
Because it was multiple, and
Yeah.
hey, I'm just here to help.
All right, so we can add that to his shit. He was into sounding.
Definitely.
Definitely.
That's the proof. The proof's in the pudding.
Credited.
And the ghost name.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We got Timothy Turnstone. Turn all
Whoa.
those stones.
He's not letting anything go.
And his most famous, Poor Richard, or Poor Dick.
Poor Dick. I remember that one, too.
Poor Richard. What? What? Huh?
Oh, yeah.
We got a call from Poor Richard.
Hi.
Smelly Jerk. And Dirty Dan.
Yeah, it's like really bad Bart Simpson calling.
Dumb Willis.
Oh, that's awful.
Poor Richard, actually, like, that was more of an editorial type thing, and that would be published internationally. People loved Poor Dick. It's just about a poor little guy.
Poor Dick.
I was gonna say it seems like some editorial pieces might be more potent coming from a poorer writer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like if he just said like taxes aren't high enough, or like no, taxes are too high as like Benjamin Franklin, to be like, I don't know what even Benjamin Franklin pays, but if Poor Dick complains about
He's
taxes being too high.
Yeah, he's got to be poor. I mean,
It's in his name. His first name is Poor.
it's funny. Every
Yeah.
time we try to pay the guy, he just throws his money down the sewer.
What an idiot.
Pour Dick. Ha ha ha.
Poor Dick. Yes.
Poor. Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah. Come on. Come on. This is a podcast. It's
trying.
not smut.
Painting a picture.
Trying to drink here.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to pour.
So Ben hated living under his brother's shadow. He started to make a name for himself in Boston as an atheist.
What? What is that?
Right? This is America, right? All
This is America.
Dude, we're here to persecute. We're
Yeah.
here to be under God's word.
they don't like that shit in Boston. Boston's like very. They were very religious.
Yeah.
Yeah, got witch trials and shit there.
I was gonna say
long
atheist
ago.
trials.
But,
yeah. I was gonna say sooner now atheist. Well, not modern day, but atheist trials.
But if you didn't know America, most of the founding fathers, with the exception of the Adams, were either atheists or agnostic at best.
Guess what, all you fucking Twitter users? You're not that original.
Yeah.
Forefathers been doing it. Shut up, Donnie Darko.
Yeah, separation
Afterfather.
of Donnie and Darko over here.
Oh, no.
All right, so in 1723, at the age of 17, Ben broke his contract with James and ran away to Philadelphia.
Bastard.
Philly was a Quaker city that was renowned for religious freedom.
Yeah, baskets. And there was also some probably pretty awkward Thanksgivings after then.
Well, really?
Yeah, I mean, you run away
yeah.
from your brother's contract, you know?
Yeah.
Well, he's got 17 other brothers and sisters.
It's a big table.
I'll just blend in with these siblings.
Yeah.
When he arrived in Philly, he was flat broke, and Ben wandered the streets, his spare clothes popping out of his pockets, eating scraps of bread, and wheezing cheese from the fire hydrants.
What are you on? Wheezing
Nice.
cheese in the fire.
That's good.
It's
We-
Philly.
Yeah.
Wheeze that cheese.
Yeah, you gotta. I got so comfortable just now.
So he's not looking his finest, but he catches the eyes of his future wife, Deborah Reed.
Where was she throwing him?
Oh, wait!
Got it. You just got it. Just got it now.
Bro,
I'm good.
she was like doing that crumb from Our Real Monsters.
Yeah, like, screw oh, look at the gutter, find the toenails.
Once she's his wife long enough, she'll roll her eyes.
Oh, yes.
Whoa.
Like a Harlem Globetrotter.
So she watched him shove some dirty bread into his mouth, probably cheese in his hair, and said the following quote.
Great.
Nice.
He was the most awkward, ridiculous person in appearance I'd ever seen. But I'd hit that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm bringing him home to Dad.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Franklin eventually lands a job as a journeyman with Samuel Keemer.
Journeyman? That sounds sexy as all fuck. I want to be a journeyman without the work.
That's just a regular Joe, working Joe,
All right.
journeyman.
I still want to be that.
Sure.
Yeah. And Samuel owned one of Philly's 2 newspapers, and then Ben gets a room at John Reed's house. That's Deborah's Faja.
Oh, okay.
So now she has this awkward cheese man
Yeah.
living in Dad's house.
Yeah.
And we know women don't have any money at this time. They're not moving out. So she's essentially living with this
Yeah,
man.
he'd be like, Deborah, get me the Cheez-Its. Deborah.
That's how that goes.
He began to make his name printing gossip rags, like I said before.
Right.
His biggest publication was Busybody.
What is that about?
Yeah, this is a busybody.
Cool.
around town.
Doing things. Walking fast.
In which he crammed full of salacious stories of affairs, misfortunes, and scams throughout the Philadelphia area. Ben himself stated, if any were offended by my publicly exposing their private vices, I promise they will have the satisfaction in very little time in seeing their friends and neighbors under the same circumstances.
You're telling me Boston was Philadelphia was a sinful city.
Yeah, sin, right?
Brotherly love.
But it might not have been that sinful because Ben was also very outward in saying if there wasn't a scandal, he'd just make shit up about someone. So as he's schmoozing and working in the printing scene, he realizes there's only one way in life that he'll be happy, and that's to climb the social ladder up to the top and become a gentleman.
That goes for everyone.
Yeah.
Become a gentleman. Even you, ladies.
Yeah.
Come
You
on.
want to use a real toilet?
A urinal?
Become a man.
Yeah. Hold the door for yourself.
Only gentlemen in this society. No one else.
So I got to paint a little bit of a picture about
Yes.
the social hierarchy of the 18th century.
All right, I'll tell you how well you do.
Are you
Yeah, right.
are you printing a lithograph?
Yeah.
I'm eyeing you, and I'm cooling down tea with my breath.
So for the average Joe, the social hierarchy was slave, indentured servant, journeyman, middling, and then gentleman.
Middling.
Yeah, what's the middling? That's stupid sounding.
Limbo, dude.
Sounds Tolkien.
Class limbo.
Yeah, basically that is just their way of saying middle class, upper middle class.
Middies.
Yeah, middlings.
Yeah.
So a middling was someone that owned their own business, was skilled in a trade or craft, but was still working and hustling to make a living.
Okay, so that's like everyone ever today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Well, maybe not everyone ever.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sky.
Like the 1% were the gentlemen.
You know what that's like? That's the guy with the wrong supplier, you know? That's Ben Franklin's dad's competition who gets his wax from shitty bees.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Stupid ass pea.
Yeah, he can't get it together. Very
B-rate
skilled.
bees. Oh, it was my second dad joke.
So yeah, like I said, a gentleman is someone that didn't need to work to live comfortably. Mainly, they made their money through owning loads of property or possibly a government-appointed job. These gentry looked down on people making their money by actually working. As a gentleman had one of few things to do, it would either be write poetry, paint landscapes, or dabble in hobbies of science, or maybe collecting exotic antiques.
You're not anything until you're useless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Also, I think it's funny that, like, a hobby is just science.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was mumbo-jumbo back then.
Yeah.
They didn't really know what the fuck they were doing.
So most gentlemen were born into that status, but there's a rising trend in American businessmen during the 1800s breaking into the upper crust, mainly because there was so much land in America that they would be able to buy land for cheap, and then people would settle there, and they'd become gentlemen.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah.
Easy days of owning land.
So Ben Franklin was obsessed with his image and status. If you think of kind of like Patrick Bateman in American Psycho,
Oh, yeah, okay.
like that level of vanity, you know, he wouldn't necessarily kill someone, but he'd throw someone under the bus to like get to the top, which in some cases could kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
They had softer buses back then.
Yeah. Death by quill.
Not two deckers.
So working as a journeyman, Ben sought patronage, which if you haven't visited patreon.com/rosemortemcast,
Whoa.
that is patronage.
There's a plug!
Whoa!
Go say hi.
You should just go there. Who were Ben's patrons, though? Because, like, we have good patrons.
Sexy ones.
Ben has stupid patrons.
Sexy but dumb? What's
Yeah.
going on here?
So,
Because I know he was also into his ladies.
yeah, but they don't have any money.
Yeah, true. I did say that
You
before.
did say that
Thank you
before.
for fact-checking me.
No, his patrons were colonial governors that saw Ben's skilled mudslinging in his papers and was like, hey, I can have him do my bidding.
You know, that monkey throws poop really far.
Lefty
We
and
should buy
righty.
him. We should buy that monkey and do something neat with it.
Yes, well, I say we should. So one of the first people to, well, what was I going to say? One of the first people he fucks over is his original employer, Samuel Keimer.
And don't forget his brother.
Who's his brother? Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, James, he fucked over.
Come on, his repertoire's not looking too good.
But James is over in Boston. Forget about him. He's
Right.
done.
Forget about
okay,
it.
I forget.
Yeah, so Samuel Kiemer, the guy that like got him off the streets, he was the bread in the pockets cheese man.
Yeah. Deborah's dad, right?
So yeah, not Deborah's dad. Deborah's dad was who he was living with.
Oh, okay. Oops.
This was his employer.
Sorry.
So the governor of Pennsylvania, William Keith, was not very happy with the two papers because they would like show him and his friends in a bad light. So he offered to finance Ben to open up a third independent paper that would show the governor under a better light. So he's like essentially fucking over his own employer.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. While Ben is moving up the ranks, he's getting discovered with all these governors. He thinks it's a good time to get married. So, got to settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would think that.
Yeah. How convenient that he lived with a girl that had the hots for him.
Well, she had the hots for him now?
She had the hots for him back then when he was Cheese Boy. He had the hots for him currently.
Wait, but I thought that quote was, I thought he was the most awful, wretched
Awkward.
man.
Just awkward.
In a charming way.
Awkward's not exactly a buyer, guys.
Well,
Come on.
I'm just saying there's those dudes that like are, they're like hip. Like, I don't know.
They're not awkward. They're confident and scrawny and dumb in other ways, but awkward is not the landing point.
Well,
Never is.
Anyway, she thinks that he's hot. Maybe he had a big old schlong. I don't know. Maybe she saw him dressing.
Yeah, well, you said his clothes were like falling off his body at this point.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, could have seen that meat pipe.
Yeah, because I could have seen that meat pie.
Peeking through the loincloth. I see you.
Little pink head there.
Deborah's father dies, and Ben swoops in and gets engaged to Deborah.
What's that? Dad?
Yeah. Oh, your dad's dead. Woo!
Sorry for your luck, got you. Prenup.
But Ben tells her, he said, I don't want to get married until I'm established.
Okay.
Right? And by established, he meant fuck off across the ocean to England.
Established. Okay.
Interesting.
So part of Governor Keith's plan for the third newspaper required Ben to set up a shop in London, kind of show that he was like worth it, like instead of like setting him up with a shop right in Philly right off the bat, he's like, we want to bring in someone that's experienced.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like when people who own Dunkin' Donuts franchises already get their family members to open another one on the South Shore, and then it smells like shit the entire time.
Exactly like
Yes.
that, kind of.
Great franchise, really.
So he is like, yo, Deborah, you gotta wait for me. And him and his friend, James Ralph, ship off to the heart of the British Empire.
England.
Yes.
There you go.
Shortly after James and Ben land in London, they receive a message from Governor Keith basically saying, sorry, bros, I'm not gonna give you no money.
Oh.
Just stay over there.
Yeah.
So Ben is stranded, with no funding, but he's like, hey, this isn't that bad, because I actually really like London, and London is full of whores.
Oh,
Bingo.
okay. Also
There you are.
werewolves, but we'll talk about whores.
Yeah.
Mainly whores.
Whores were a real problem.
Yeah, Ben quickly forgets about his fiancée Deborah, goes in for the sliz. Or as he puts it, in quotes, passions of my youth, exploring into the intrigues of low women.
Low women, big
Okay.
tits, sandpaper teeth.
Love cheese.
Exactly. What's not to like about these women?
Yeah.
Flying for that dick, that fucking pink little whistle.
Low women.
Yeah.
He has a dwarfism fetish.
Yeah, he loves those low
women.
Right at cock height.
I don't want to kiss you.
Ben falls in love with London and what he calls the plays and other places of amusement. Him and James land a printing job to fuel their sexual endeavors.
Okay.
Yes.
What a sitcom.
Right.
Two burnt out Philadelphia dudes in
20-somethings.
in a London Kinko's
Yeah.
funding their whores through photocopies.
Hey, mate, you horny? Quick, grab the papers.
Excuse me, we take pounds here, okay? I'm from America. Get it straight.
Ben, in his youth, was pretty much straight edge. No smoking, no drinking, no gambling.
But the pretty much?
Yeah, he lightened up on some of the things towards the end.
He would hit his head against the wall a few times every now and then.
Oh, yeah, just to get to bed.
But he would drink water at work, which is kind of weird because London wasn't the cleanest place in the world.
Okay.
So he's just drinking that poop water and probably getting the shits. But
This is
He liked
strange
it,
to me. Yeah, the tap water in London's got little poop in it.
well, yeah, it's just gross and grimy. Everyone drank beer because it was clean.
Okay.
But it meant that he didn't have anything to spend his extra money on besides horse.
It's good to just stick to one hobby.
Yeah. Just pick one, go for it.
Really focus in, dig down.
So Ben stays in London for 18 months, and he wasn't missing Deborah at all. He actually wrote her only once while he was away. And
Good guy.
And Ben was a man that constantly sent letters. Like, one of the reasons why we know so much about Ben Franklin is that he was constantly sending letters. You know, he became a postmaster eventually, which we'll get into. But so for him to write his fiance once, it's like, fuck you, dude.
Just run this Kinko's.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
The only reason why he came back to Philly was that there was a food shortage in London, and he saw that there was more opportunity for success in the less established colonies. Or else he probably would have just stayed there.
So we could blame this episode on hunger, essentially.
Yeah, The Hunger Games.
Wow.
Terrible movie.
Yeah.
Terrible book.
Yeah, I got through about 15 minutes of that movie and turned it off.
Yeah, it was garbage.
You're braver than I.
So in 1726, Ben sails back and starts his own printing firm in Philly. Ben still wanted to get married, and he wanted to get settled down. It was time to stop with these low women, you know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What now?
But wait, he already has his fiance.
Deborah.
Deborah's there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a fiance on this
Oh,
continent.
shit. I already did this part.
Yeah. So the problem was, Deborah was like, fuck this dude. And she got married to a John Roger, which makes sense.
What? What part of that makes sense?
Well, like, it makes sense that she would leave him.
Okay.
I mean, like, just to marry. Of course, she's going to marry John Roger.
Yeah.
What a good option.
Roger Klutz.
Yeah, Roger that.
But that was really no loss for Franklin. He kind of postponed his whole, like, let's get married, and just started sticking his dick in everything. He banged whores, married women, and started to court wealthy bachelorettes, which he was mainly after their dowries, because at the time you'd give a dowry.
There's always I never got that really. But
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
I'm into it.
And Ben was racking up his debt at the time, so he was like, I'm going to go after these rich chicks and try to get their dabbies money.
That's cool. That's what a cool guy does.
Yeah, like-
I actually like Ben Franklin so far. It's, except for the whole, right, if you're going to cheat on her a million times, you might as well write.
Yeah. So during this fuckfest, Ben knocks up a chick. Now, we don't know her name or where she was from. At this point, Ben was working in Philly and also New Brunswick, New Jersey. So I don't know if he went for a Jersey girl or a Philly cheesesteak, but he put something in something.
What?
No egg rolls.
All right.
Not
real,
there yet, yeah.
real vague.
Yeah, it's real vague. So some historians think that this woman may have been married and from a higher social status than Ben, who at this point was still a middling. So he's
Still
probably
middling around.
probably sneaking into the bed of some gentle lady.
Well, I imagine all of this with him as he looks on the dollar bill.
Right.
The out of shape, pear looking
I've been
man.
doing that
In his
too.
70s.
Yeah, and I see him sneaking through a window, like, where's your husband?
Why is he looking for that?
Because you ask where the husband is, because if he's not there, then you jump in.
Yeah.
And if she goes, he's downstairs, then you go back out the window.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you're like, meet me behind
Because you see her, so you know where she is.
Yeah.
So you say, where's your husband?
Yeah. Then you,
Gotcha.
then you whisper, meet me behind the hickory tree. I'm going to be rock hard with some wood.
Yeah. I'll be priming myself up.
So somewhere in those 9 months, 24-year-old Franklin, he's only 24.
He's still balding and
Yeah.
Yeah.
paunchy, right?
So 24-year-old Franklin gets all high and mighty and starts acting like a secular saint. He writes his famous Art of Virtue piece, which he lays a moral code to perfection.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. We need more of that.
He writes that thing, and the child was born in secrecy, was sent away from his mother for nursing,
What?
Like just another titty.
Okay.
Put him on an Amazon truck.
Yeah.
See where you go.
Slap a packing label across his dopey forehead.
Yeah. Have fun in Nebraska, which isn't a state yet.
Well, now that Ben is a changed man, he contacted Jeff Bezos, and he was like, "Where's that package going? I need that boy.
Need that tracking.
Give me that tracking."
I like that.
So he finds the boy, and he raises him on his own. So good for Ben. He named the boy William Franklin.
Okay.
It's a little Willie. So now Ben's like, I really gotta get married. This is not cool. I mean, I don't mind fathering this bastard, but gender roles. I need a housewife.
Yeah, I need someone to make me the stroganoff.
Yeah, that's when he heard that John Rogers, Deborah's wife or husband, Deborah's husband had fucked off to the West Indies with her dowry and possibly died.
No.
Who framed Roger's dickhole? We don't know yet.
Yeah.
Go back to Deborah.
So Ben's like, I'm gonna go swoop in and grab this Deborah and marry her, because I also kind of feel guilty.
So she's at home. She's crying. For some reason, she's in Clarissa's room from Clarissa Explains It All. And the ladder hits the thing, and you got a bald 24-year-old. What's the matter? You crying?
I'm impressed you could climb a
Check
ladder.
this thing out. Got a kid. You want to start talking again? I know your dad's dead. We could talk about that.
What, Roger?
What?
Oh, Roger's not here? Oh, wow. Can I sleep in your bed?
Oh, that's cool. Oh, it's coffee in here. It's nice. Good lighting.
The problem was is that Deborah could not legally get divorced with Rogers because it wasn't proven that he was dead, and Philadelphia did not permit divorce upon desertion. Yeah. So Deborah and Ben begin a common law marriage thing. They just move in. They're like, fuck it. We're not technically married, but...
Okay, that's fine. But many happy relationships start that way.
Roommates.
Yeah, but that was weird for the 18th century.
Did someone write a tabloid on him?
Probably. But Ben was probably like, I did it better, so...
Yeah, he was like, you even talk about how pink my dick is.
Look, I signed this one. Ratchet Jones.
They both actually saw themselves as damaged goods.
Really?
Yeah. So Ben had his bastard, and Deborah was unable to get divorced. And part of this marriage contract was that Benjamin Franklin's boy William was to be raised as Deborah's own son. And of course, because it was Benjamin Franklin, there was an actual contract. It said you must raise this boy as your own.
Right, and make sure there's intimates in the house, always.
Now, the whole raising of William was a hard pill for Deborah to swallow, because obviously Ben had loved whoever the mystery lady was, or else he wouldn't have gone out of his way to find the child.
Well, maybe he just thought he was a handsome kid.
Spoiler's not that handsome.
Oh. We all are wrong from time to time.
It's not good with the bone structure?
Maybe for the day it was all right.
For the day. For the one day.
Yeah, for one day.
That one day that he showed his stupid face.
Now, Ben's relationship with his bastard son was almost textbook. I mean, there wasn't really father-son bonding at that time, and especially if it was an illegitimate child, that shit was like non-existent. So Ben was doing a good job with his son, right? Like kind of exceptional.
Yeah, progressive.
Good for him.
Good dad.
As William grew, Deborah held a little bit of resentment towards him, but she never neglected him as a son. This is all set up shit. Sounds real nice and happy, but don't worry about it. We're setting shit up right now.
Okay, I like it.
All right. Ben was never really happy with his marriage altogether. In fact, he was always ashamed of Deborah. He felt that he deserved a higher status woman.
What is this? He wants low women. He wants higher women. He's all over with the women wanting.
Well,
we know that the middies are not the good ones.
The
in this time.
middlings.
Yeah.
Well, he wants to bang the low women, but married of high women.
She truly does not have enough money, and she's a touch bit wall-eyed. And I don't like her hair.
This one smells like beef.
I feel like they all smell like beef.
Yeah. Just a powdered beef, you know?
Yeah.
Because they all powder themselves, right?
Yeah, probably with beef.
It's better than bathing.
Yeah, it keeps the ants away.
Yeah.
Put more clothes on.
Yeah, if any of our listeners want to send us powder to do, so we can powder ourselves for the next episode.
I actually need that right now. I'm
Yeah,
sweating.
little
It gets hot
steamy
down
down
here.
here nowadays. Hey, spring.
So as Ben worked his way up the social food chain, he never invited Deborah once to any social function or dinner.
Wall-eyed.
And all while Deborah remained faithful, keeping his estate and family in order. Surprise, surprise. Surprise was the most boring surprise. Surprise.
I'm thinking of like
Surprise.
Pauly Shore. Surprise.
I was definitely caught off guard there. I thought this was going to work out.
I felt it wrench in my stomach.
But he's fucking out there with his Kinko's buddies, DP and Wild Turkeys.
Yeah. No, Ben was not faithful at all. Surprise. Yeah. So Flat Dick Shovel McGee, Ben Franklin. Now he has a family. His parting passes behind him for now.
Okay, cool.
Nice. Okay.
So he's all about becoming that gentleman. And right now he's a middling. So he owns his business. He's got some property. He's working hard.
That seems like a little bit more than a middling to me. Does it not?
Yeah, but he still has to work. The whole thing is like, are you working?
Got it.
Then you're a middling.
Yeah, if you're doing something, then you're doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, as he's climbing the social ladder, he has a very interesting view on the poor. He was and considering that he thought that he came from the poor, he was a big fan of a writer called Arthur Young, who wrote, "Everyone but an idiot knows that the lower class must be kept poor, or they will never be industrious."
I mean, he's not wrong.
They gotta be kept poor?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Keep him poor.
Well, then Ben Franklin never would have been where he was.
Well, okay. I feel it's not saying like you have to keep certain individuals in a lower class. I feel like he's saying there must be a lower class, otherwise it topples.
Well, he is saying that. He's saying the lower class must be kept poor. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. 100%.
Well, then no Ben Franklin.
What do you mean?
Because he was poor.
But
Well,
I
you
feel
can
like
work your way out.
He's
You can-
changing classes.
Yeah,
you know
but-
what I mean. Not
That's not a... Well,
You
not
can
according
wriggle
to
your
this guy.
you can wriggle your way out. You can burst through the class.
Right.
Congratulations, sir.
Well, basically...
You're one of us now.
Yeah.
I feel like the individuals of the class can move, but like the poor class has got to stay poor, otherwise it's
Well,
socialism.
from Arthur Young's point of view, they needed the poor for labor and servitude in order to keep the gentleman life of leisure. You know what I mean? So it's more
Yeah.
of like...
Yeah, you gotta have someone to shovel coal.
Without poor people, you're not getting your morning Pop-Tarts, sir.
No.
happening.
No icing on those for you.
Nope.
You're getting wheat.
You're just going to wake up and sit on the edge of your bed and wait for someone to put on your shoes, and they're never going to come.
My man!
Yeah.
My man! My man!
Untuck me!
He's just wiggling his feet, like, get me out.
Yeah, the gentlemen at the time are so weak, they just get stuck in their beds. I've got to paint something!
Ben joined up with his fellow middling peers and formed a fraternity to distinguish themselves above the, in quotes, vulgar ordinary people.
What's going on here? This is a weird class episode.
They named themselves, they named their frat the Leather Aprons because they were ambitious tradesmen.
Right, so they were workers, but exclusive workers.
Yeah, and then a gentleman joined their club, so they're like, we can't be that anymore. We're going to call ourselves Junto.
Junto! Junto, come down to P.T. Barnum and see Junto, the 7-foot-tall midget.
Yeah!
With arms for toes.
And Benjamin Franklin's dick.
Amazing.
So the whole point of the frat was for them to self-improve each other, betterment of society. Basically, it was just under the table monopolizing the markets.
Great.
So they're actually making like financial moves and being players. Okay.
Yeah, it's not just
They're
hanging
not just
out.
talking.
It's not like that cigar shop.
Oh, the cigar shop, that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, but they're actually doing stuff.
Like smoking a cigar. Ben wouldn't do that because he doesn't smoke.
Yeah. He still hangs out. Where have you been, Ben?
But wait, doesn't that fraternity sound like something that already exists?
Oh, you mean wow, I'm totally blanking right now. Freemasons.
Freemasons.
Yeah, Freemasons.
That's
Oh, yeah.
correct.
Especially with like the leather apron.
Yeah. They already wear aprons.
Yeah.
Like men.
So the Freemasons were founded in 1717, so they existed. Ben heard about them. He's like, I'm just going to do that, because why the fuck not? So he forms the first lodge in America, the St. John's Masonic Lodge. Mm-hmm. And eventually, Franklin would become the Grand Master of all lodges in Pennsylvania.
Cool.
That meant a lot of opportunity. Because,
Yeah.
that wasn't exclusive to the middlings. That was mainly the upper class doing it.
Yeah, that's a lot of money right there. You got all the exclusive guys. Those dudes didn't rent their bowling shoes; they bought them.
Oh, and the laces?
Yeah, and they only bowled like once a year.
Yeah, and they had their own pool sticks, but they never played pool.
That's right. Oh, wow.
That's kind of like me. I have my own pool stick.
You hate pool.
I know.
You fucking hate it. Why do you have a pool stick?
My dad got it for me because I went to go play pool once with you, and he was like, "Oh, they pool stick."
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Nice.
So Ben used his connections to start the library company.
That
Interesting.
sounds like the worst business pitch I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, right? Explain it.
We're gonna offer something that is already a public service, but charge for it.
Blockbuster.
So we're gonna send DVDs through the mail.
Don't scratch them. It's your fault if they get scratched
Yeah.
through the mail.
Oh, this won't go anywhere.
No, nowhere. Pushing it. He also pushed his agenda for printing money paper because they were using coins at the time.
Coins are heavy. I hate that.
Yeah. And eventually become the postmaster of Philadelphia. And all that influence made him into a, quote, mulatto gentleman.
Oh,
A mulatto gentleman? Does
Yes.
that,
That
was his
sounds-
mom all of a sudden black?
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a little derogatory, but...
is it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But, so basically, he was still working. Like, he was still working at all these businesses, but he was mingling with the gentlemen. So it was like, you're not really one of us, but...
He was cool enough.
Yeah, it's definitely racially bad.
Yeah, he was the only
Say.
guy. He was the only guy who came in with slightly dirty hands
Yeah,
and
yeah.
still opened his own Pop-Tarts.
So that fact caused Ben to have a lot of self-hatred. He felt like he wasn't good enough.
It's true. It's just true, man.
At home, he tailored his son William to become a child of a gentleman, so gave him the best education he could. And Deborah then gave birth to a daughter, Sarah, and Franklin was hoping that he would be able to marry her off to a higher social status.
She was just born.
Yeah, but right off the bat, he's like, oh, yes. Finally, in 1748, at the age of 42, Ben acquired enough wealth that he could retire from active business.
Okay, so he could finally be that gentleman.
He's finally the gentleman.
Oh, he's so gentle.
Oh, smoke this cigar finally.
Yes. And also, he retired at age 42. I mean, what?
Yeah, it's not horrible.
That's pretty crazy.
I don't know anyone else who retired that young.
No. So Franklin quickly got himself a few slaves, as you do. Bought himself an old house,
As you do.
as you do.
Which was built 3 years ago.
Yeah.
By slaves.
Everything was, yeah. That was old for the time.
And set out for his life of leisure.
I like him now.
I'm gentle now.
First thing he did, he was like, hey, I'm going to create a phony family crest so I can look better.
Hey, I read this book, Harry Potter, and they had different houses that the kids were in. But I think we do that with this house, and I'll be the Dumbledore.
I dumb doof.
I'll be the Dumbledore, and you guys could be under my house.
Slytherin.
Yeah. I'll put my dick on it. We'll
Yeah.
call it Slither Boys.
Put this hat on your head. It'll tell you how many pepperoni you can eat.
So what was on his little shield there?
I don't know exactly,
Crest.
but I don't. He basically just found Franklin just from some other family named Franklin that was noble. Just took that and changed a few things.
He just went onto DeviantArt and changed a few things, didn't he?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Damn it.
He went to Fiverr and had someone make crests.
Tweak.
He did what the fat Jew does.
Yeah. Then Ben tried some poetry, and he was like, "Fuck that shit! I'm better at writing tabloids."
These words are dumb.
Tabloids don't have to rhyme. Fuck it.
He took on a whole new look, wearing a lot of silk robes and having portraits done of himself.
It's a good look.
Ooh, silky.
How many portraits did he have done?
He had a fuck ton of portraits done throughout his
I was
life.
gonna say he seemed like he likes himself.
He loved getting his portrait done.
Would he ever have 2 done at the same time?
Ooh.
Where you do
My
this
good
and then
side.
be on a swivel chair and
Yeah.
come on.
And then power stance the other way.
yeah.
Get a glamour shot of that shoulder.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. The picture I'm going to actually use for this episode, if you go on Instagram or Twitter, follow us, you see a picture
you
of
can
young
see-
Ben Franklin, and he looks very stupid.
Very dapper.
Yeah, it's no stupid.
Oh,
He's got
okay.
that stupid wig on, like... bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah.
The old judge's wig.
Yeah.
They still wear those in over in England.
Merry old, jolly old England
That was
chimneys.
something he picked up over there when he was in the Kinko shop. Halal.
Yeah. And then Ben decided to start tinkering with things and experimenting. Because he had all the time that he wanted to do whatever he wanted.
You mean like you with egg rolls?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that's a running thing now. Now I'm just a egg roll boy.
Making it happen.
Do
Now
have
I'm
a
just
good
a
time.
general sow if you're talking about it.
Oh, I know you can get generally sowed up if you put a little egg roll in there,
Ben's number one fascination was electricity.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that.
Same.
Right.
I thought, that's some weird cartoon shit. You don't really commit to adult memory.
Yeah, you learned that one in like second grade, and you're like,
He lived?
that probably didn't happen.
Right. So also when you learn about that shit in school, at least in America, it kind of comes off like Ben Franklin invented electricity. But it's like we knew about what electricity was. Like he wasn't the first person to be like, "That's electricity."
Yeah.
Like
I mean, there was plenty of lightning beforehand.
he was the one that found out that lightning was electricity, but we knew that electricity existed.
Come on, I'm trying to... Dang it!
I feel like it's a gimme. But that's just my modern brain. Just
I don't know.
Of course, lightning is electricity.
Yeah.
It's this flashy shit in the sky.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's any... If electricity to, like, a Benjamin Franklin was bright and flashy. You know what I mean? It's like one of those.
Yeah, so let me tell you about early electricity and the study of that. So it was more of a form of entertainment or like a curiosity that was performed for the rich by electricians. So if you know,
Man,
magician,
has that
electrician, right?
That really has changed over time.
Yeah, right?
They got to be in union.
Yeah.
They're still mythical creatures.
Yeah.
They should sell like little electrician kits, like they do the magic sets.
Yeah, here you go. Stick this fork in there and have fun, kids.
Yeah. I used to do that. That was cool.
You can lick your hands first.
So the kings and queens would be wowed when electricians could produce sparks or pass currents through people. Like, you remember, I think I did that when I was a kid. You know, you held this thing and then everyone would hold hands and it would light up.
Yeah, it was called a Vander Graph.
That's the type of shit they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, never did it.
Yeah.
Still don't believe in electricity. You can't prove it.
So Ben was very fascinated and he bought himself a Leyden jar, which was like an early form of capacitor.
Yeah.
He called it his miraculous bottle.
This is familiar, yeah.
Yeah. And with the help of his son William, began experimenting. His first experiment, can you guys guess?
Put it behind a bush. See what happens.
Yeah.
A bear trap.
His first experiment was how to cook a turkey using electric shock.
That is fine.
Oh, was the turkey dead first? They just trying to hook it up. Be like, he's never gonna see it coming.
Ooh.
Just wait till he touches it.
Yeah, get it.
All right, fry him.
I just see him like moonwalking on carpet with wool socks really fast. Like, I'm gonna kill a turkey today.
Gotta get this boy. Oh!
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
It's like when you first barbecue, when you're like 14 years old and your parents are out, and you cook a burger for the first time, and you have no idea what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like you either have a pink mass or just like a bit of charcoal, and you're like, oh, I think I nailed it.
Dude, the charcoal's so good. I'm like the next Guy Fieri.
Yeah, well, I'm good.
All right. His most famous experiment. You guys know that shit. We talked about it.
Kites.
Kinda.
Yeah.
He's flying that kite.
Right.
So, I mean, that's pretty fucking stupid. He attached a key to a kite, flew it in a thunderstorm.
Yeah. Why didn't
Dumb.
you just get a drone?
Well, also, he knew it was stupid because he had just been zapping turkeys. So he was like, yo, William, you could go fly that kite. Yo, you do that.
Do the thing I kill turkeys with on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, go out there, you Neanderthal.
So, what did he find out? Like I said, that lightning was in fact electricity.
Wow.
And it was drawn to metal or like grounded metal objects. So, aka the key and his son.
Yep.
So Ben actually invented the first lightning rod.
His son.
Well, yeah, but like the first like on a house lightning rod, which was an international sensation because before that, when there was a thunderstorm, your wood house got struck by lightning. It's not house
normal.
no more.
It's not wood no more, or house.
This is the metaphorical wolf that would blow on the pig's house.
Yeah.
Us being the pigs, and
Lightning being a wolf.
yeah, and brick it's an analogy I'm deeply regretting as I'm talking about it.
So this whole making the lightning rod thing made Ben Franklin the America's first international celebrity. People around the world called him the 18th century Isaac Newton.
Hey, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Benjamin Franklin, and I got news for you. Put this lacrosse stick on top of your house, and I assure you it will not burn down because of stuff that happens in the sky. I repeat, you buy one now, get a second one free, put it on your mother's house. Does your mother live with you? That's all right. Find someone else to put it on. You got a neighbor's house that's very close? Buy two.
Yeah. That's probably how he sailed Pigeon.
Sounds magical.
Ben kept experimenting with electricity, writing scientific papers, and inventing. Over the course of his life, he received many honorary degrees and doctorates from universities around the world. He never actually went to school, though, but they're just like, yeah, you take that.
Yeah, well, back then they didn't teach you in schools anyway.
Right. So I'm going to go over some of Ben's inventions. Do you guys know any of them? Without looking at my script.
I feel like an idiot right now.
Yeah, me too.
Well, Cody, you might be using one right now.
Chair, microphone.
No, Ben actually invented the first bifocal glasses.
Okay.
Because Ben was a lazy fuck and he didn't like switching his glasses.
That's a good move.
Nearsighted and farsighted.
That was in National Treasure.
Yeah. Was it? Was it?
Yeah,
like...
it was the glasses that you had to like use the levers to like flick the different lenses out of the way.
He also invented a thing called the Franklin stove.
What kind of sex position is that?
Okay.
you do
Franklin
it.
stove is when you're on the banister and you all slide down one after another, man, woman, man, woman.
Oh.
Whoa.
And it's like Russian nesting dolls as long as you ignore the chafing.
That's pretty cool.
Or it could just be man, 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 man.
Well, there's
man.
friction involved, so I see where you're going.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
like you can lube up the pole, but I think they had that in China already. It's called the Chinese dragon.
Yeah. No, the Franklin stove was actually the first enclosed fireplace. So, like, people would just have their fireplace, and the house would fill up with smoke. And Benjamin Franklin was like, "Why don't you just put it in a box?"
And have the box have outside access.
This is amazing. So this guy stopped people from burning down their house in 2 ways.
2 ways.
Oh,
Amazing.
Another one was swimming fins.
Okay.
So Ben loved to swim. He was a big fat boy. He was lazy, and he didn't really like kind of swimming around burning energy, just like being in the water. So he strapped 2 planks of wood to his feet to help him propel through the water.
Gotcha.
did he also invent the helmet? Was it just a cracked in half cantaloupe they just kind of squeezed on there?
Yeah, this is my helmet.
Yeah. You know, just in case something comes at me.
Oh, dear.
And this one's actually really interesting. I kind of want to do a clip of it.
Okay.
It's called the harmonica. Not a harmonica.
What is going on?
Harmonica.
Okay.
So, Ben had heard some people playing silver crystal glassware. You know, when they put their finger out and goes, woo.
Yeah.
So, he was like, hey, we should make something that's more like a piano or an organ with that, because I like that sound. So what he did was he set up these, like, a set of glasses on this, like, spool, and you'd power it with your foot, and it would spin, kind of like a cotton gin type thing.
Oh.
That's also called the glass harmonica.
It's called the glass harmonica.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no...
I didn't
no
know.
H.
I know what you're talking about. It has
Yeah.
the grooves and
Yeah, and you play it with your hands.
Yeah.
your wet hands.
Wet hands.
Remember how
Back
they
then,
jammed it?
everyone's hands were wet all the time anyway.
It was just the diet, probably.
Yeah.
The thing about this instrument he made was that it was said to make people go crazy
Oh.
because of the sounds and the frequencies.
Yeah, I could see
It's a
that.
weird frequency, but also the crystal was made with lead, and they didn't know
I was gonna
about that
say,
shit.
like,
So they're like wetting their fingers and just like getting lead all on there. And
licking their fingers and going back in.
yeah.
I could do that no better.
I was gonna say it's mercury or lead somewhere in there.
All right, and the last one, I think we all know very well. It is the catheter.
Oh, really? You
Yeah,
hate to get out of
okay.
bed that much?
Yeah, you know, just ram that tube in your pee-pee.
Yeah, exactly. Ben, why don't you just piss in this bottle?
Nonsense! I have a tube inside my dick.
Yeah.
Efficiency.
Yes.
So Ben, all right, those are all his inventions. That happened over the course of his life. I kind of
Nice.
diverged a little bit there.
That was all of them?
Well, I mean, he did more. He did a lot more.
That was
but
the
these were the notable
Okay.
ones.
All right,
yeah.
cool.
Nice.
He invented a lot of shit. So back to kind of the narrative. Ben Franklin was a royalist.
Oh, okay.
Now, not a loyalist per se, but a royalist. That meant that he put his faith in the monarchy. He wanted the crown to govern the British subjects of America. And Ben also believed that America was meant for British subjects and Native American tribes only. Any other nationalities were not welcome.
Get up to Canada, you French weirdos.
Well,
Stay there.
yeah. Pennsylvania actually had a very large German population.
And a lot of Dutch, too,
Yeah,
right?
and a lot of Dutch.
Yeah.
So Ben Franklin wrote this: "Why should the Palatine Boers be suffered to swarm into our settlements and by herding together establish their language and manners to the exclusion of our own?"
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not going to open up a Wawa next to a bunch of Dutch people.
I'm a founding father, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
He also hated the Irish and Scots, even though they were kind of British citizens.
Yeah.
Especially
it's
for
a
the
weird
Scots.
paradox.
Yeah, they were kind of like secondhand citizens. Citizens, ooh.
Citizens.
See what I did there?
It's a good horror movie name.
Yeah.
Blacks and other Europeans nationalities were hated by Ben. He said America was the land of the lovely red and white, referring to Native Americans and white
Interesting,
people.
because there's no blue-skinned.
Yeah. Just anyone
Okay.
blue skin.
If you eat enough silver, you turn blue.
Yeah.
The colonists, especially people who lived on the frontier, were very concerned about the French and native tribes that lived along the borders, especially in the Ohio Valley and Canada. Ben always thought that it would be smart for all the colonies to have a central assembly in order to unite them, kind of provide one voice to the king in order to mobilize a colonial militia if the French ever attacked. So, like, instead of, like, working with these governors and having to wait to hear back from England, he kind of wanted to have, like, a central core representative to the king that could, like, be like, hey, we need a militia to fight these guys.
Right. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. But this assembly would fuck over a few colonies in particular.
Yeah.
One of them being Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania was a proprietary colony, which meant that it wasn't governed directly by the crown. It was governed by a family, the Penns.
Oh, no
That's
shit.
weird.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
The pens.
Yeah.
Oh, the 15s.
The Penn 15s.
Gotcha.
So if they all assembled, they would kind of be like usurping their power, and that was a whole big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in 1754, shit hit the fan, and the French-Indian War kicked off, or as Europeans might know it, the 7 Years' War.
Okay.
This was pretty much a world war between England and French and all of their colonies, but the powder keg was in the American frontier. So shit kicked off right in Ben's backyard.
Oh,
in
fuck. Oh,
Pennsylvania.
fuck. Oh, fuck. Get the lightning rods.
Wow! The British sent hundreds of thousands of troops to the colonies to defend America, but because there was no fast communication across the Atlantic, the colonies were not able to organize militias fast enough to defend the initial attack. Ben and William Franklin led troops with no prior military experience, mind you, because they were gentlemen.
Of course. Just like a bunch of ninnies falling out of the steps, like as they run out of the mansion. Charge!
Yeah, go!
Tripping over each other.
Go, boy!
We
Get
had
'em.
30 casualties and we didn't make it out the driveway.
Ben and a bunch of his political gentlemen called a meeting in Albany, New York. This plan was to finally unite the colonies under one governing body, under the crown. Right? So it's not like America. It's like, hey, we need to, instead of all these different colonies operating on their own, we need to be like, hey,
This is, don't tread on me, mate.
it's interesting that you would say that because Ben began printing certain propaganda to promote this union under the king. And one of the pictures that he printed was the snake cut into all different pieces. And it says join or die. You've probably seen that.
Right. Which is, it really doesn't make sense, but it's fine.
Well, I mean, people take that as like join America or die.
Yeah.
But it really, the way that it was originally printed, basically read kind of as join under the British crown
Or we're all gonna die.
as a collective royal governor under collective royal governors, or die to the French and Indians.
Oh.
That makes
So-
more sense for that poster then. Yeah.
Right. It's like it's not so much like let's be free. It's like we need more control, like from the king.
Wow, imagine that. I
Yeah.
can't wait to break some hearts with this one.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So this Albany Union ultimately fails. There's the major factor, like I said, was those proprietary charter colonies and those families not wanting to give up power. But eventually the French and Indian War concludes, and this whole thing of trying to unite the colonies really kind of gave Ben a bad name in the eyes of the Penns that owned Pennsylvania, because he still felt that all colonies should be directly governed by the king,
Yeah.
and not by these people.
Right, not by the 15s.
Yeah, not by the Penn 15s.
Yeah, that's the joke that's what we're going to call it now.
Yeah,
Can we do that?
Penn 15s.
Can we make that happen?
whole
Have you guys ever heard that joke before?
Benjamin
I
Franklin.
think I have heard of it.
Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin 15lin. Damn it.
Ben 15.
That's what they call it.
You made it.
Oh, Ben.
there you go.
Just rolls off the tongue.
It's like Ben 10. So Ben's stirring up shit with the Penns, and depends. He's wearing depends.
Oh, great.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
So he wants to appeal his case to Parliament in England, and the Penns live in England. They live in London,
And
they
they're
don't. They don't even live in Pennsylvania.
Imagine that, owning a giant piece of property like that and never stepping foot on it.
I feel like most landlords do that.
Yep.
This is nice to look at, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good to know that we have it.
it's making me money.
Put it with the others.
All right.
So in 1757, 51-year-old Ben and his son William say goodbye to Deborah and Ben's daughter Sarah and ship off to London.
Again with this.
Again, their mission was to represent colonial interests within the London's elites in hopes of ending the Penns family rule of Pennsylvania and placing it under the rule of the king.
I'm sure he was doing other stuff too, and I'm sure Deborah was like, this is fine.
Oh,
This is
that's
totally
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
Last time it was fine. This is going to be fine.
So now, this was supposed to be a quick trip over to London, maybe like a year or two. Remember, it takes a long time to get there, so a year or two is quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you remember last time when Ben went to London, it was pretty much party time at that point.
Yeah.
And now he was an international celebrity from his work in the sciences.
Oh.
So you can imagine where Ben Franklin's art of virtue went.
To coming in socks.
Right in the egg roll.
Wow. Damn.
Oh.
This place is awesome. I'm not going back.
So the quick trip, Ben originally, he spent 5 years in London.
Okay.
He returned to Philly for 2 years and then went back to London for 10 more years. So he lived over in London for 15 years.
That's chunky.
Yeah. Good man. I'm good at math.
You have that written down, don't you?
I didn't check that.
Yeah, I did. Good at math.
It's all right. That's, you're always going to have a calculator on you.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Yeah.
True that.
Franklin's residence in London was number 7 Craven Street near Charing Cross, which I don't know, whatever that is.
That shows up in a lot of fucking Sherlock Holmes books.
Craven Street?
Craven
No,
Street.
Charing
Cross?
Yeah.
He lived with the lady of the house, Margaret Stevenson, and her daughter Polly. Now that he lived with a mom and a daughter, he was like, I don't even need my other wife or daughter.
New wife,
I
daughter.
got new ones.
I could sell this daughter.
And they're English.
Yeah, so both of them and William, now he has a new family.
Well, what happened to the daddy there? He just likes these bastard widows.
Yeah, I think she was widowed or something like that.
All right.
So Ben's,
Little Rogered.
yeah, Ben's dick was all over London once again.
Good.
He was
Yay.
fucking Margaret. He was fucking whores. Whatever he get his hands on.
Really?
And he was a celebrity, so there was actually a jingle made about Ben Franklin in one of the papers. And
Can we sing it?
On.
yeah, well, Tom, you want to sing it? It's at the bottom.
Sure.
I'm not good with musics.
Yeah, you're the music boy.
This song sucks. All right. Franklin, though plagued with fumbling age, needs nothing to excite him, but he is ready to engage when younger arms invite him.
Oh!
That was
amazing.
Yeah, jingle.
It's a little spicy. He's looking for those younger ladies.
Well, the English do love their songs.
They do. Have you ever seen a football match?
Footies, they know it. Da, 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 da. Like every time I hear either in a movie or I have heard it in real life a couple times, a bunch of English dudes singing a song,
Yeah.
I get sad.
Yeah.
It's this mixture of like, what are you people doing with your lives? And then also it goes back to me, why don't I have friends like this?
Yeah.
Why don't I have friends who teach me songs? Travis, you're my first friend to teach me a song.
Thank you. I'll teach
I forgot already.
If you're like a true Englishman, it sounds like you broke your jaw. You just go, right.
Benjamin Franklin, he's got a dick on his mouth, on his hand. Benjamin Franklin, he's got a hand in marriage in his hand. He's a good time in it.
So, Ben Franklin's dick. Ah! Yeah!
There it is. There's Ben Franklin's dick.
Ben Franklin used his dick to mingle within the upper crust of London.
Mingling dick.
That's what those holes are for.
Yes. He attended the Hellfire Club, or also called the Knights of West Wycombe.
I do not want to stick my dick in that room first.
Yeah, this is actually very weird, and this isn't conspiracy at all. This is something that he wrote about in his letters. So it kind of sounds like a conspiracy, but it's common knowledge.
Okay.
So this was a secret society of nobles and members of parliament. Like, in terms of secret, we didn't know who the members were in particular.
Right.
But he was kind of writing from it from an outsider's point of view. That performed sacrilegious rituals, had crazy orgies, and discussed the inner workings of society while balls deep into someone else.
Yeah, I guess I would turn you on if you're into
Right.
real political gain and you're
Yeah.
just pumping away.
Their motto was, "Do what thou wilt." These meetings were held at the Medmenham Abbey and its secret underground caves.
Whoa.
The place was refashioned from a Christian church to a pagan church with Greek and pagan themes, phallic symbols, and other items of sexual nature.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, posh.
The maidens, aka prostitutes,
Yeah.
that attended were dressed as nuns, while the members dressed as monks or characters from the Bible.
Okay.
And how many lubed-filled super soakers were in this place?
I don't. You could basically go on Pornhub and look for this.
Oh, wow.
Right now.
Yeah, if you type in Benjamin Franklin in Pornhub, you are going to find the longest orgies to date.
So, this is from a different source, not Benjamin Franklin. His name is Horace Walpole.
Nice.
He described the members as,
The members.
the practice was rigorously pagan. Bacchus and Venus were deities whom they almost publicly sacrificed to. And while the nymphs and the hogsheads that were laid in against the festivals of this new church sufficiently informed the neighborhood of the complexion of those hermits.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
Why did
Basically-
you read that then?
Well, basically, I don't know why I put it in there. I saw a hogshead. I was like,
Funny.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
that was funny.
Just take that out.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm not going to. That's fine.
It was hogwash.
Yeah,
Like,
it didn't make any sense.
All right. Well, that's a throwback to our Shakespeare episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Ben was at these fucking satanic sex orgies. But while Ben liked all women, he was not. While Ben liked all women, he wasn't hesitant to fuck an 18-year-old or probably a 16-year-old because that was legal back then. He had a thing for older women. Ben, in his wise old years, penned a little novel called Advice to a Young Man on the Choice of His Mistress.
Great.
Yeah, I feel
Great.
like that should be on a periodical rack, a bad one.
Yeah. Can we get a copy of that book?
I want a
probably.
subscription to that magazine.
I feel like Jordan Peterson read that book a few times.
In there, Ben says this: in all your amours, you should prefer the old women to young ones. Every animal that walks upright, the deficiency of the fluids that fill their muscles appears first in the highest parts. The face first grows lank and wrinkled, then the neck, then the breasts and arms, but the lower parts continue to stay as plump as ever. So
I don't know if that's not true.
So covering all above with a basket, and regarding only what's below the girdle, it's impossible of two women to know young or old.
All right.
Just throw a laundry basket on it and fuck the shit out of it.
Yeah, a vagina's a vagina.
Yeah. Oh,
Until
man.
you're like dead, apparently.
Just keep doing
Just
it.
keep banging it.
Also, under the girdle.
I feel like this is the kind of guy who would, if you put him in modern day society, if he saw a young person eating a yodel, he would tell him how to do it better.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you gotta peel the skin off it.
Yeah, you
first.
just gotta
You gotta wrap it around your finger like this, kid. You gotta fuck put it right in there.
You gotta inside out it.
Oh, you see that old woman? She's a little ugly, right? Now if you put a basket on her.
Put a basket on it.
Only look what's under the girdle.
Yeah, tie her off like a Monty Python sketch.
Yeah, use the wicker one so you can like spit through it.
Yeah, she'll get some breathing room. You don't want anyone hurt.
Yeah. He also goes on to make a point that a old woman cannot get pregnant, and that all cats are gray in the dark. He's a witty bastard.
I like him. He is fun.
Yeah.
Remember, he's married the whole time.
Yeah. With children.
His wives can't read.
Yeah.
I like how he just vaguely said any animal that walks on 2 feet.
Yeah. Well, that was a very weird way of saying
Yeah,
it.
a lot of animals walk on 2 feet. You don't think they do. Like ducks.
Well, like he was saying, the deficiency of the fluids that fill the muscles. Like, that's what makes you old? Is it? I don't know.
No, dude, he's
I don't know.
hogwash science, man.
That sounds like Huffington Post shit.
Yeah,
Like how to increase your libido and lose weight in 9 easy steps.
it's a Vice article.
Yeah.
I wore a wicker basket. I was an old woman for a week, and here's what happened.
You wouldn't believe what happened.
Ben was actually caught in the act on a few occasions. There's one moment that stands out in particular. So he asked his painter to come by his apartment on Craven Street to paint him a portrait. Because he loved getting his picture taken.
Sunday's portraits.
I'm Franklin. I do these.
Do my portrait.
Okay.
So the painter arrives on time and he opens the door to Ben's place. And he found the maid on top of Ben with her hands down his trousers.
Oh my goodness.
So Ben yelled out, "Get out! Come back tomorrow!
Don't paint me like this.
Don't pay me!" So the painter ran home quickly and sketched out what he had witnessed from his memory.
I was
Good boy.
gonna say, one of the worst things to do when there's no cameras around is invite a painter over mid-hand job.
Right, this is like the first paparazzi kind of, you know what I mean? There's no picture, but he's like, "Oh, this is what I saw." Blah, blah, blah.
I wonder what excuse he fed him to leave.
So,
You didn't see me with a hooker in my pants. I have to go now.
He's just a gentleman. He doesn't have to explain
so
himself.
this is the sketch here. It's a little hard to see, but
It is
if you take a peek here, you can see where her hand is going.
down his trousers. Indeed, that's a comfy chair he's in.
Yeah, good times.
Scandalous.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Beauty and the Beast, but the Beast is less hairy.
Yeah, it looks more like a potato.
What about Deborah? 15 years.
Oh yeah, I forgot about her.
What about her?
As he did.
Yeah. He's been gone for 15 years. And what she's been doing this whole time while her husband fucks his way through London, well, she's been in Philly, taking care of Ben's house, raising his daughter.
That's all she really wants.
Okay.
Ben
honest.
would send her silverware, dinner plates, portraits of himself,
Oh,
and other fineries. Some people say that maybe it was a sense of guilt that they did that. Probably not. He just probably wanted to put it in his house.
Yeah, hang this up over there. You don't even have to look at it.
His letters to her were infrequent and usually cold and formal. She would write back asking when he would return, and Ben would always say something like soon or next spring or in a year, but never followed through.
Soon.
For 15 years.
Yep. And eventually, I mean, we know that the revolution is coming. When rebellion started to break out, the Sons of Liberty were attacking all these houses and raiding and looting. Mm-hmm. She actually armed herself and defended his house from these raiding parties. And she was in her 60s at that point.
Don't talk about Ben. He's a good man. He's not doing anything over there.
No!
Nothing. No sketches say otherwise.
Ben was never there for his daughter Sarah's wedding or the birth of her child. And eventually, in 1769, after years of Deborah pleading for Ben to come home, Deborah had a stroke.
Poor Deb.
Jeez.
But she survived because she was a fierce-ass bitch.
You go,
Okay.
Deb.
But her daily chores and activities became very hard because she had a stroke.
Imaginable, yeah.
But there was no words of pity from Ben at all.
Keep doing it with your strokey arms.
Yeah, Ben...
Did he know?
Oh, yeah, he knew.
Oh my God.
He's
Deborah-
the reason of it.
Shit.
Deborah was struggling, and one month she overran her monthly spending in 1771. Ben writes back to her, scolding, "You were not very attentive to the money matters in the best of your days. I apprehend that your memory is too much impaired for you to manage unlimited sums without injuring the future of your daughter and grandson."
Ugh. Monster.
It's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, why don't you go home for like 20 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. And it's also like, what a slap in the, like, we have unlimited sums, and
Yeah.
you overran the budget.
I was going to say, how's that feasible?
Jesus Christ.
So by the early 70s, by the early 1770s, his son William was back in the colonies, while Ben was still gallivanting around the UK. Deborah's health began to slowly deteriorate
Further?
I don't believe it.
Yeah, well, I mean, she had a stroke in the 1700s and survived.
Yeah.
And both Will and Deborah wrote to Ben saying, "Shit isn't looking good. I don't think she has long
Verbatim.
to live." Exactly, verbatim. But Ben ignored it. He didn't even ask how Deborah was doing or feeling in the rare letter that he did write. All while receiving these heart-wrenching letters from her begging him to come home. The last letter Ben sent to Deborah, he told his wife that he was hesitant to return to America because he says this, "I shall find myself a stranger to my own country and leaving so many friends here. It will seem like leaving home to go there."
What a fucking asshole. I've been here for so long. I don't think it would be fair to me
Yeah, right?
if I went back to where I'm from.
All my friends are here.
Yeah, I have a life now. Things are good. Shut up about the stroke talk. I have enough of your depressing shit and stop spending money. So I'm thinking I'm just going to hang over here.
Yeah.
Jesus. Fuck it. What a piece.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
Quit spending from the infinite pile. We don't have. We only have 2 of those.
Meanwhile, he's Scrooge McDucking over in the UK.
They don't grow from trees.
Except
Although I
these.
did make paper money happen.
It's not like I'm printing the damn shit.
Oh, my goodness.
Printing.
And his son William was with him, right?
Well, no, his son William was there for a while, and then he comes back to the U.S., which we'll get into.
Did he hang out with Deborah?
Oh yeah, he looked after her, even though like Deborah was like he was a bastard.
Right.
Deborah filled in where Ben was supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
Like he stepped his shit up. Ben was like a good son. So that letter, that whole shitty thing about how he doesn't want to leave, he doesn't write her for a year, and then she dies. It had been 10 years since she had last seen her husband.
Yeah.
You know, this would make a great animated Disney film.
A sad one.
Yeah. Like Frozen.
Yeah. Frozen's.
I thought you said Roseanne. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, like Roseanne Barr.
Roseanne Barr.
Yeah, Roseanne's been animated this whole time, even on Joe Rogan.
Ben never sent any condolences to his son or his daughter, and he never brought her up again. Damn. Talk about one-sided love.
Yeah.
Bad dad.
So let's go back to William. Like I mentioned, I was going to say, because he's going to be an important thing in the next episode.
Okay. Keep in mind, people, get your pants on backwards because we got 2 episodes for this.
2 episodes of douchebaggery.
Or just keep them on all backwards the entire time for all 2.
Yeah, that's right. A full week and a few hours, whatever it takes to listen to this.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, Ben's son returned back to America. Well, his son William Franklin. Will spent the majority of his young adult life with Ben in London. Ben had groomed Will into becoming a fellow gentleman, continuing the legacy. While living in London, he sent him to prestigious schools and brought him to many of his dinners and meetings with the upper crust.
Better than bringing home leftovers.
Yeah, better than going to Sbarro's.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Oh, yeah, shut up.
Yeah, right?
What the fuck is that?
Sbarro's better crust.
Yeah.
Let's not do this again.
You know, I don't know if I've talked about it, but they got big tomatoes on the wall.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's better ingredients right there.
Right?
Delicious Photoshop tomatoes.
I also mentioned way earlier that Ben Franklin's love to his son was rare for the period. You know, they were close, which is cool.
Did they bang whores together?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eiffel Tower.
High five.
Chad.
Yeah.
Because, well, actually, the apple...
You get the basket side.
Yeah, well, actually, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Because Willie loved to stick his willy in things just like his father.
Well, like father, like son.
Yeah.
So it's Ben 15 and Willie Armstrong. I don't know. Willie. Big Willie.
Willie.
Big Willie.
Free Willie
Free
style.
Freed Willie.
Yeah.
Free Willie Mason.
So William had an illegitimate son with an unnamed woman just like Ben.
Stop it.
There you go.
William took in the son and fathered it as his own, which it was. But again, it was weird for the time. Usually a bastard would just be shipped off. He named the son William Temple Franklin. And you're like, Temple, that's kind of a weird name.
Yeah.
He had a real big side of his head.
Yeah. So William
Just
actually...
one side of his head. The other one was
He's a
fine.
fucking flounder.
William actually named his son after a well-known university that he was preparing himself for the bar at. It's kind of like naming your kid Five Towns College.
Hey, that's cool. That is a school local to Long Island.
Yeah.
A bad one.
And Yoko Ono.
William eventually met a respectable English woman named Elizabeth. They got married, and Elizabeth had no qualms raising Temple as her own. Also, the kid went by Temple, not William. Not
Temple.
Okay.
So for years, Ben had been trying to get all the colonies under this royal governorship,
Right, you were saying.
like I was saying. And in 1762, William was appointed as the royal governor of New Jersey. Jersey boy.
Fancy Royal Governor of Jersey. Can we have T-shirts? I
Damn.
want like hockey jerseys that say like.
He should at least have a rest stop.
Oh, yeah.
on the Jersey Turnpike. At least one of those.
Well, we're going to find out why he doesn't.
Easy on, easy off,
We're
baby.
going to find out why he doesn't.
Give me
But-
that expensive Burger King.
Yeah, this was the royalist dream that Ben had imagined. You know, he was really proud for his son because now he's working directly for the king. And William returned to America to serve over there his governorship. And William and Ben kept in constant letter communication. It was almost like William was kind of keeping him like tabs on what was happening in America to Ben.
Yeah.
So back to the big guy, Ben. For years, he'd been up to schmoozing and whoring, but he didn't really get very far. He had a couple meetings and debates with Thomas Penn and the head of the Department of Colonial Affairs. Occasionally, he would visit Parliament as their colonial expert,
Fancy.
and he continued to write political commentary and tabloid gossip. The thing was that Ben absolutely loved London. He was proud of his newly coronated king, King George III. William and Ben actually attended the coronation. He loved the fame that he had as a writer and scientist, and he loved mixing and mingling with nobility and men of wealth.
I just see a montage while you're doing this. Like Benjamin Franklin wakes up and he looks out and sees Big Ben and they fucking wink at each other, like digital wink.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you see him in front of Buckingham Palace and he tries to high five all the beef eaters. Like,
all right,
he
governor.
just makes a joke out of it. And they're like, he's writing books for people and they're all drinking tea.
Kicking a soccer ball with the kids.
Yeah, exactly. Ben loves London.
He loves it.
Loves it.
He loves it.
Sausage rolls.
I'm sorry, a football with the kids.
Oh, sausage rolls.
Yeah.
Don't get
Footy.
me started about those. I love those
Dude,
sausage rolls.
Do you think Ben did?
Do you think wow, you just got me thinking something. Fuck egg rolls.
Leave it there. That was a perfect place to leave.
Yeah. So he had made a lot of friends, very important, influential friends. And he got to the point, like I mentioned, to his wife, that he didn't want to leave London. He was happier in the UK than the colonies. And he said this. He said, I wished to become a Londoner for the rest of my days.
Oh, sellout.
Yeah.
Expat.
Fucking dude didn't even want to go back to the United States.
Yeah.
So as I said, Ben kept in constant communication with his son. Along with the papers, Will kept him on the pulse of what was happening in the colonies. The colonists were upset. The British Empire had spent a lot of money defending them from the French and Indians from raiding their colonies and cities, and they need to pay taxes for the service they received.
We didn't do this for free, boys.
Right. So enter the Stamp Act of 1765. This was a very small tax on almost every form of paper product. That include legal documents, almanacs, newspapers, playing cards, you name it. Yeah. It's not really a big deal. If you think about all the shit you pay tax on nowadays, sales tax, everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't really know what the big deal was. They're getting, like, basically the English...
What was the percentage on it?
I don't know exactly what it was, but it was minor.
Right. Just paper.
But it was without representation? Is that how that goes, or...?
Well...
That's kind of more later, isn't it?
No, I mean, they didn't have any representation in Parliament, but...
No, I know, but that was like the fuss.
Right. That's what it was all building to.
Yeah, exactly. So that became
like, why should we pay this? Like, why? That's literally the question. Why should we pay this? And the British were like, because we want money?
No, the British were like, we just prevented you from getting raped and murdered by
that's it.
natives and
French people. Yeah.
So if you think that, that was all printed things, so you'd think this would fuck over Ben Franklin, but he was like, no, like, Americans, stop rioting, don't worry about the no taxation without representation thing. Franklin's loyal to the crown, and, like, he said this in regards to the taxes that, and mentioning the king and the taxes, like, we are all in your hands as clay in the hands of a potter, referring to Parliament issuing taxes.
Is this like a Harry Potter thing? Because that happens in England, right? Muggles, right? That's in England?
Dobbies!
Right.
It sounds like he's a sub, not a dom.
Yeah, he's subbing. He's subbing to the king real hard. All right, and remember the whole Albany plan that Franklin had tried to do to unite the colonies that I mentioned?
Colony Con.
Well, the colonies did that. They united as one against the Stamp Act, and they called it the Stamp Act Congress.
Smart.
Fancy, yeah.
It's basically telling Parliament to, like, fuck you, we're not going to pay these taxes.
Okay.
Ben Franklin's friend, the lieutenant governor of Massachusetts, a man named Thomas Hutchinson, his mansion was destroyed by an angry mob. They burned effigies of tax collectors and wreaked general havoc on the population.
My shit's done. Look at this. I'm Tommy Hutchinson. I'm the Hutch. You gonna burn down the Hutch's joint?
Yeah.
The Hutches.
You motherfuckers are coming after you.
So Franklin called out in scathing articles about the unruly mobs in Massachusetts, telling the people to act decent, dutiful, and grateful. How dare they rebel against their royal masters?
This is Benjamin Franklin, the guy signing the Declaration of Independence.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, what goss?
He's saying, don't go against your royal governors.
Get in line.
Get in line.
Oh,
This did not make him very popular in the colonies. People accused him of actually framing the Stamp Act. They wrote, O Franklin, thou cursed to Pennsylvania and America, may thou most accumulated vengeance burst speedily upon thine guilty head.
I like the song with the inviting arms better.
Yeah.
Wide open.
Parliament calls in Franklin into the House of Commons to question him about this reaction by the colonies. And he says that Americans were acting rash, but they would not stand for this tax. Like, Parliament's like, all right, can we fucking do this? And then he's like, no, they're not going to fucking give up on it. So Parliament revokes that shit. Parliament's like, we're done.
Awesome.
Nah, we're done.
Franklin puts his hand down and starts pushing for more powers given to the crown. Like, putting these royal governors in. What? We need more power for the crown, less on the Parliament, more on the crown. Get rid of those pens. Parliament revokes the Stamp Act, and Franklin puts his head down and pushes for more power to the crown. And he wants to get rid of those pens and just put those royal governors in. And all while this is happening, the Sons of Liberty are starting to organize in Pennsylvania and really kick shit off. That's led by Sam Adams. Great, it's terrible beer, not great beer. Terrible beer.
I mean, they have some okay beer. It's okay
that's
beer.
That's the thing. They did one really well, and they think that one entitles them to experiment without consequence.
I like Yingling better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Sons of Liberty are like the embodiment of the patriots in America. And what does Ben have to say about them?
Good.
It seems to be lost.
Dude, you can't clear your throat and then go,
It seems to be lost amongst the common people who are, moreover, continually inflamed by seditious scribblers to trample on authority and everything that used to keep them in order.
He's all about order and locking things into places. I know.
Seditious.
keeping the poor,
Yeah.
and keeping the rich filled with Pop-Tarts and tucked in bed.
Yeah. Give me my
Vote for him.
Yeah.
You seditious scribbler.
scribble me. Well, get out of here. Come back and show. I draw a portrait of my dick.
He used seditious. I think he used salacious earlier.
Yes.
Like, he's good with those S's.
But in 1774, everything would change. Franklin, his home country, and his beloved England all would be different. Because Ben Franklin, his whole world would be flipped upside down.
What is this?
What? What do you mean?
To be continued.
Oh, shit.
Oh my!
Yeah.
There. Okay.
What?
Wow.
That's the end of part one.
That's the end of part one.
Yeah, that's pretty in-depth, Travis. I understand why we're doing 2 parts
Wow.
on Mr.
Okay.
Ben.
Yeah.
know, right?
I got you. I'm feeling it.
How old is he at this point? He's like 60, right?
He is pushing 70.
Damn.
And
Yes.
he's got another episode of
He's-
kicking around and
he's-
fucking shit up.
He's got another. So how do you guys feel about him right now? It doesn't he doesn't seem like the patriotic guy that we all know and love.
I mean, why did you assume I loved him?
Well, a lot of people in America
I like
love him.
stuff he's on.
I like money too, but I also do direct deposit. I'll never have to look at his fucking fat head.
Cash is king.
Yeah, that's true.
He had a boner for turkeys. I can remember that.
Yeah, he likes turkeys.
Yeah. Well, he tried to fry one with electric science.
Yeah, sparked turkey.
Yeah, which he didn't even know. Sparked.
Sounds something I'd pay $10 for at a gastropub.
Yeah, usually birds don't have crackle.
Nah.
But if it did, I would be intrigued and want it.
Apparently, when he
Intrigued, yes.
when he cooked that turkey, it said it was very tender.
It wasn't cooked.
Yeah, right.
I
know.
I like that.
He glorified. He tased it.
Yeah.
He probably used less power than what's loaded in a taser, and just tased that bro into a Thanksgiving turkey dinner. But by accident, it was just a puddle on the ground.
Yeah,
Raw
he gives a
turkey dinner.
little static tickle to a turkey and just bites its bloody head off. And he's like,
Yeah, pretty tender. William, you eat the rest. We do not waste here.
don't throw those feathers out.
Yeah. Put them in
Eat
your
them.
pillow.
Eat them.
All right. Well,
So next week we'll get into the revolution, post-revolution,
Wow.
all the good shit.
all while talking shit.
Yes.
There we go. All right.
Good job, Travis. My
Thank you.
word.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to the Roast Mortem coverage of Ben Franklin, Part 1.
Yes.
So you can find us on our Twitter, which is Roast Mortem Cast. You can find us on our Instagram, which is Roast Mortem Cast. You can find us, email us, gmail.com.
Yeah.
RoastMortemCast.
Facebook.
We got a Facebook and we got a Patreon.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/RoastMortemCast.
All Roast Mortem Cast. Every day. We're like a 7-Eleven, but we're open 24/7.
It's amazing, right? Yeah, so you can also check out what we're saying on the internet. I'm on Twitter, Saunched, SAUNTCHT.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Travis Legion with 2 E's.
And I am Cody McCann. I am on the Twitter as Cody McCann, CODYMCCANN.
And thank you for bringing them ears.
Yeah. Tom, could you end this with Bauer's sound?
A Bowers dozen sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, the clanking beep of every intro.
I just wanted to be Jack Bauer
Dang.
for Christmas.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh my God.
Dang.
Oh my God. What's going to happen? I don't know.
All right, let's get sued now.
Yeah. I'm going to get sued. Yeah. Oh.
Oh my God, the president is here.
Previously on Roast Mortem.
Yes, we're doing Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, shit. Where's your husband?
I thought my new lobster died, but he was just sleeping.
We should buy that monkey and do something neat with it.
Yeah, that was a national treasure.
He had legs coming out of his head.
See that signature? Not everyone gets a sign there, okay? He's important.
But that's just my modern brain.
Yo, William, you could go fly that kite.
I'll be there in the morning. You can fucking try me, fatso.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
Why did you read that then? Yeah.
Okay. What now?
And now, the conclusion of Benjamin Franklin.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Roast Mortem Podcast. The only podcast that is, I don't have time for this shit. We have part 2.
Yes, part 2!
How are your weeks?
Fuck that shit.
It doesn't matter.
We gotta learn about things.
Moving on.
So, last week, we were talking about Benjamin Franklin.
Right.
If you didn't listen to last week, go back and listen to that shit, because I'm gonna recap all this garbage.
What kind of dumb idiot are you that clicks on part 2 without knowing part 1? This isn't Harry Potter. This is history.
You gotta
fucking dopes.
rethink your life if you're listening to part 2 before 1.
Ben had a big-ass long life, so we broke this into 2 parts.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically, right now, where we're at, Ben Franklin, he's the king's man. He is condemning his fellow colonists. He's calling them out for stepping out of line and rebelling using mob justice with the Stamp Act. You know, not the typical patriot that you kind of think.
He's got the job mob going. It's just like Twitter today. Same shit.
Yeah. The Sons of Liberty called him a royalist shill. And, yeah, that's where we were last week.
To be expected.
But as I said, his world is about to be flipped on its head.
I don't believe it.
His head is going to be on... If you go to Australia, you fall off the earth.
Is he on a coin? Can we just do Can you pretend he's on a coin for a minute and he's just flipping it and you got tails and now here you are.
his
You're
head.
sucking his dick first.
Yeah, we could flip a $100 bill.
Pretty boring, actually.
Yeah, not that exciting.
All right, so in 1772, the Sons of Liberty, led by Samuel Adams, marked Benjamin Franklin's close friend, the Royal Governor of Massachusetts, Thomas Hutchinson. We mentioned him last episode.
Right.
Right.
Great parkway to be stuck on.
Yeah, the Hutch. Previously, they had burned his mansion, but Hutchinson remained in Boston and stood his ground.
Right.
Adams was announcing Hutchinson's royal salary, and just shit was kicking off in Massachusetts, focusing on this Hutchinson guy.
Right. Okay. Great.
So Hutchinson wrote a letter to a Thomas Whately in London, and it said the following. Here's my first bad quote.
High expectations. I love this, Travis.
There must be an abridgment of what we call English liberties. I wish to see some further restraint of liberties rather than a connection with the parent state should be broken.
Okay, so he wants to see more of the liberties?
He wants to see less of the liberties.
Less liberties.
For what expense? Just royalist?
Well, just so
Like
he
kissing?
can, so these shit starters, the Sons of Liberty, will be suppressed.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Right.
Well, we have to do that.
Got to do it. They're
Gus-
burning his manch.
You can't have dudes burning manch and getting away with
You
it.
got to take it personal when a man burns your manch.
I think some of those guys have been eating shad, have been burning down my house.
So somehow, instead of this letter being delivered to Whately, Benjamin Franklin got it.
Okay.
We don't know how he got it, but he got it.
Male tampering.
Yeah.
Jail.
Well, he was the postmaster.
Oh, yeah.
Mail tampering. I do that when I go home.
So what does Ben Franklin do with this letter that he received from his friend? You know, he was friends with Hutchinson. They worked on the Albany plan together.
Right.
What does he do?
He throws it out like any good guy.
No, he throws him to the dogs.
So some throwing.
So Ben sends the letter to Boston to get published. Now it seems as if Ben had kind of switched sides now, right? Now he's like pro-patriot.
What's going on?
Like he's, he's calling out this royal, governor and
He's like, there's no money in this.
What do you mean?
He sees the letter. He's just like, there's nowhere to make money on this one.
Yeah, there's
Let's keep it going.
no tabloid shit on this, so let's just send it out.
Yeah, it seems like a real concern. Let's get rid of it.
Well, in Ben's mind, and we know this through letters that he wrote, I'm not just speculating, rather than having the colonists be angry at the crown and like England in general, he thought that if he published the letter, all the anger would be focused towards his friend, Thomas Hutchinson, and not the crown.
Oh, he's
Nice.
scapegoating.
Right. So it's like, oh, one bad actor is, causing you all these problems.
Obviously.
Yeah. So just threw his fucking friend under the bus.
Fuck you.
All right.
Now, he didn't read the situation correctly at all because the Sons of Liberty saw the letter and were like, this is like a royal assault on our freedoms. And, obviously they hated Hutchinson, but they were like, the king is at fault because Hutchinson represents the king.
Yeah, I mean, there's never really that moment in which an angry mob that burns down your house goes, all right, he learned his lesson.
Yeah,
Everyone,
exactly.
let's go to Duncan.
Yeah.
So all the gentlemen and nobility in London automatically turn their head to Franklin. They're like, yo, like, you're a little dickhead for publishing this letter that wasn't even for you. How'd you get it?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And then in 1773, Parliament passes the Tea Act as, again, a way to recoup finances lost from defending the colonies in the war of French and Indian War.
Right.
And again, another small tax. It's the same thing as sales tax, only on the East Indian Company tea.
Just one brand of tea.
Yep.
You can make your own tea and not have to pay tax.
Right. So in direct response to that act, fueled by Franklin's letter, a group of men dressed as Native Americans dumped 9,656 pounds worth of East Indian tea into the Boston Harbor.
And if you want to know what that's called, it's called Woodstock 99.
Wow. Oh, that's a shit. Apparently they're making another Woodstock, and it's going to be also gross.
Woodstock 50. And the lineup is, dare I say, I was going to say retarded, but I just can't say that.
It's going to be downright stupid.
Yeah, it's going to be dumb, dumb, dumb.
So
Nice.
that much tea that they dumped in the harbor in today's dollars, American dollars, $2 million.
I didn't
Worth
know
of
that
tea.
actually.
Yeah.
That's a big cup of tea.
I
Yeah.
thought it was a little affair, but it was
No.
It was huge vandalism.
$2 million. And if there's one way to piss off a Brit, is ruin their tea.
Oi! What for, mate? That's it.
Yeah. All right.
That's how they are. They get angry when you take their tea time away.
Yeah, and they usually stand up and, look all hunched. But I'm not standing up right now. It's just not happening.
Actually, so James, the guy who...
Do we have to explain that break?
That was a fart on fire from Andrew on the couch.
Thank you.
That was
That was
hot
entertaining.
tea.
It's hot something.
James, the guy that was on our Darwin episode,
Oh, good guy. Yep.
when he visited us, and we were meeting up with Cody, who lived in Boston at the time.
Good.
We walked along the harbor, and I was like,
times.
we should get some tea and coffee. And we're just like walking, strolling down. He has this tea. And I grab the tea bag and chuck it in the fucking Boston Harbor.
Yeah,
Oh.
you guys started wrestling in public.
Yeah.
then.
That showed him. That
Yeah.
totally showed him.
Yeah.
He was very angry.
Well, anyway, that's my act of rebellion.
Well,
Very,
good
very
on
good.
you.
Yeah, good for Travis.
Maybe we can get Bono behind it.
All right, so everyone's looking at Franklin because he kind of incited this with this letter, and Franklin earns the name of the infamous man of letters.
Lettuce?
Letters.
Oh, I thought he was some kind of BLT.
Franklin gets called into the House of Lords for questioning. And there they berate Franklin and mark him as... They mark and brand him as a man without honor in any country of Europe or mankind.
Japan's
You're
looking
not even
nice.
a dude.
Yeah.
Not even a guy. I can't believe it.
Oh, wait, Europe or mankind?
Yes.
There's different? Okay,
That's what it says.
it's different. It's different.
Well, there's Europe, and then there's mankind.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that doesn't include Eastern Europe.
Gotcha.
No.
Never.
Just like France.
Yeah, France, English. I mean, that's even a stretch, really, the French.
right.
Why would we go right for butter?
Barbarians.
And they said he violated the sanctity of private correspondence. And then they attacked his character straight outright.
Well, he docked someone.
Yeah, laughed at him, called him a liar, a thief, a traitor, and that he forfeited all respect amongst societies. Again, calling him out.
This is a YouTube comment.
Yeah. Then they stripped him of his position as the Deputy Postmaster of America.
Great. Well, that's a dumb job anyway.
And Franklin, red in the face, leaves the House of Lords without saying a word until he whispers to Lord Wedderburn, "I will make your master a little king for this."
Little King, eh?
What?
Little king.
A little king?
Like
that-
Little Bear. He's gonna take the king, take his pants off. Little Bear.
No pants. You're only listening to cellos from now on.
So he's like kind of calling out the king, and this is his big turning point. After this verbal thrashing, the papers, once he got back to his house in Craven Street, the papers called him an old double-face, Britain's Judas.
Oh.
And he was talking to his friends, and he said he vowed to seek revenge for his public shaming.
Old
right.
double face seems very uncreative, like schoolyard shit.
I think they probably called him double chinned.
Like any good British person, they came up with an old-timey rhyme. Very popular with that grime music.
Oh, we got another rhyme?
jingle?
Yeah, we got another rhyme. Tom, you wanna grime it out for me?
Sure.
This one rhymes a little better than last episode.
All right, let me pretend I read.
Okay.
So, dear Mr. Franklin, I'm guessing that's like, when the beat starts kicking in,
Yeah.
and that's like the ad-lib.
Yeah, the
Dear
hooks.
Mr. Franklin, thou base, ungrateful, cunning, upstart thing, false to thy country, first to thy king, to gain thy selfish and ambition sends, betraying secret letters writ to friends. It's not that clever. May no more letters through thy hands be passed, but may thy last year's office be thy last. It's kind of just a description of what's happening.
Yeah.
It's not really an insult. It's not good rap material.
That scheme is weird. It's just A, B, B, say.
Yeah, in a rap battle, you would never just go over someone's CV,
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
rap
well,
battles go.
I'll take that back a little bit, because when you lose your job as a man, you start over again. You're a little boy. When you get a job, you're a man again. That's just how it is.
yeah, your penis turns into a little baby boy's penis, and then it grows out into a young man again.
Capitalism.
You gotta grow it out with your 401k.
And that, my friends, is how Benjamin Franklin became a founding father of America. It wasn't any type of high grandstanding. It was simply revenge for being humiliated by nobles.
No.
Yeah.
It's just like he starts coming back over here. He's on a ship back pretty much.
He's not back yet. But
But he's upset, and he's just like, I gotta leave this place. They're throwing tomatoes at me, and they're all like, "It's tomato, you fucking wanker."
exactly.
That's really good, actually.
He's pretty much laughed out of London, and he also fears for legal repercussions for leaking the letter, so he decides to board the ship up. But it wasn't because he didn't love Europe. He actually still really loved Europe. He was just shamed out of leaving, shamed to leave. So 15 years of living in England, being a known royalist, and again, expressing the fact that he never wanted to return to America, he arrives back in Philly all gung-ho about this revolution. So as you'd imagine, most of the founding fathers would be like, what?
Yeah, what are you doing here?
What?
Well, he left there ashamed. It takes about 3 months to get over here or some
Yeah.
shit. So, it's 1 month of pity, and then the next month of just trying to eat right, and then the third month of rocking around
Scurvy.
legislation, just being like, I'm ready to go for it. I don't care, father. I'm still...
My sea legs are gone. I'm ready, bitch.
And also, another big factor, if you remember from the last episode, William Franklin, his son.
Yeah,
his son is the royal governor of New Jersey. So he's coming over here like, fuck yeah, revolution! And
how's my turnpike doing?
I want a toll booth everywhere.
Okay, so Ben's change of heart was really surprising to John Adams, who said that Ben actually became, over time, the most bitter enemy of Great Britain. And it almost seems slightly like overcompensating, or he's just trying to take advantage of something. Mm-hmm. You know?
I mean, I get it. You get it. No joke.
Small penis.
No joke. Roast mortem moment.
No joke.
No joke. I get it.
I got it. And also, while Ben publicly denounced his old friends that lived in London, one was MP William Stratham, he would send friendly correspondence back and forth.
You know what?
Privately.
No. Do you know what private correspondence back in the day were?
Dick pics.
Yeah, you just slapped your dick on top of a piece of parchment and traced it with the quill.
I was thinking of putting it on the ink and then making like a dick.
Like a stamp.
Like a stamp.
You could do that too.
I was thinking a lithograph.
But it's just like, oh yeah, you still got both of them.
I'll read this letter. It came from a testicled man.
I know that vein.
So Ben overcompensating for his hatred and bitterness towards the Brits and trying to prove that he was on the American side, he would spread fake documents in his newspapers saying that the British had employed native tribes to slaughter American women and children, which he came out saying later were completely unfounded. Just like, oh yeah, they hire the natives.
Sure, they have a mind of their own.
See, that is a fucky thing for me because that's just inciting a war.
Yeah,
fuck,
pretty much. Ben helped write the Declaration of Independence in 1776.
Whoa, did anyone else know that? Holy shit!
Classic boy.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're just a giant excuse to be bitter.
Yeah, pretty much. He was actually the only founding father to sign all four major American documents, which were
really
the Declaration of Independence, the Treaty Alliance with France, the Treaty of Paris, and also the U.S. Constitution.
He's there.
Wow. He's there for all of it.
He's there.
Did he put his dick in the Liberty Bell?
That's why it cracked.
Nice.
Ooh. He was asking for the Magnum size,
penis
bell,
cap.
But my goodness, he just poured into it.
So Ben is spreading all this propaganda.
Okay.
But you think, why does he need to?
Collusion, dude.
Well, why does he need to? Right? I mean, this is a revolutionary war. Tom Sneebs.
I just bit my tongue so
Right, Chief?
Yeah, I'll live. I'm bleeding, but I'll live.
But why would he need to spread propaganda? Because as you know, when you're learning about the revolution in the United States, it's like everyone, yeah, get behind America.
Only truth and only freedom.
Nothing
and then
else.
Maybe a bit of, you gotta tell a story.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You went to work that day, nothing happened, you make something happen.
I got pussy.
I got pussy, but I put it down because I'm a real man.
So grab the dinner first.
Jerked off in the janitor's closet. And I know that's politically incorrect to say janitor, but who gives a fuck? It's America.
Janner woman.
I was like, no thank you, ma'am. I have to go home and eat a Swanson's TV dinner.
Right? Every goddamn time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In actuality, a third of the population was pro-independence. A third was loyal to the crown, and a third was just neutral.
Really?
So,
Right.
if you think about that, 66% of the population didn't give a fuck, or didn't want revolution, or didn't give a fuck. So, majority was like,
I'm fine.
And the ones that were loyal appreciated the military protection that the crown gave and economic stability of the British Empire. Now, plus you think of many of the liberties that the founding fathers were calling for, it didn't really affect the majority of the population. It really only benefited a small portion of the gentlemen and upper middling class.
Right.
And many of these founding fathers were ruthless political businessmen, motivated by greed, ambition, and not lofty morals. You can think of Benjamin Franklin as one of those people.
Oh, the guy in the $100 bill was a greedy, corrupt man.
Right. I don't believe it one bit. Travis, I want to tell our audience that perhaps the rest of this is going to be fiction.
We'll never know.
Well, there's a good side and a bad side to every situation, and obviously the loyalists, I knew what I was talking about.
What?
Loyalism.
Royalism.
Well, thanks, dude.
Speaking of loyalists, let's talk about Benjamin Franklin's son, William Franklin. Up until this point, Ben and William were like tight brother, father-son.
Like father-son.
Like father-son.
You don't have to pretend to be friends with your son. You just have to be his father.
No, but they were friends. He was like throwing the baseball to me. He's like, and then like they're like, hell yeah, let's get hot dogs.
Yeah.
Once Ben came home and changed his image, all the letters to Will stopped. He was no correspondence to his son at all. Even though his son would send him letters, he was just like wouldn't respond.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean that goes with family with him. I mean, as we remember, Deborah,
exactly.
Right?
Deborah.
Wait, you expect me to write back to you, Deborah? I don't care that you had a stroke. Stop spending the money.
Go back to the first episode if you don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. After the fighting had begun at Bunker Hill in Charlestown, Ben secretly met with his son at his son's governor mansion in Perth Amboy, New Jersey.
Perth Amboy,
Wait,
great
was that
place.
a secret meeting or a secret mansion?
Secret meeting.
Okay, I was going to say, a secret mansion's tricky.
That would be cool if it had a secret mansion.
So secret meeting, you mean behind the first Arby's?
Yeah. Well, no, this is Jersey,
location.
so it's the first Wawa.
Well, I thought that was more Pennsylvania.
Never had
But
Wawa.
let's get a poll.
Yeah.
Let's do a Twitter poll never about that one.
I want Wawas.
Yeah,
I
me
hate
too.
when people argue about burger joints. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Checkers is better than Rally's.
Yeah, you're eating garbage and be proud about it. That's it, okay? Rise up against the Zinburgers.
For the people at home, I damn know well Checkers is the same thing as Rally's.
Yeah, dog. Yeah. Before they met there, this had been the first time that the two had corresponded in years. Basically since he moved back. And this was like, I don't know, 1777, somewhere around there?
You look good, son. How are the whores treating you?
Yes.
Is your dick wet right now?
The father and son drank together. They argued about the future. Ben told him that
Dad stuff, yeah.
his son, he told Will that he needed to resign and join the Patriots. But Will felt that he was duty-bound as his positioner as governor to the crown, because he is.
And well, he signed the contract.
Yeah.
He didn't get booted yet, so...
Ever been drunk with your dad,
Yeah, a couple times.
Travis?
I don't think so.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten there yet. I want to. Sounds nice.
He's trying to get me high with him, but...
It's at weddings, usually.
Yeah. Well, usually I'm the loaded one, just like rolling around with my tie off.
Yeah, you've been drunk in front of your dad, and he's just like,
yeah.
Travis, will you go to bed?
One time...
Will you please go to bed? I'm trying to watch a movie.
So we had a family outing one time down to the Caribbean.
Oh, nice.
And I was sleeping in the same room as my dad, and I got wasted. Came home, and I peed on my dad.
What? Why have I never heard this?
Yeah. You never heard that?
No.
Yeah, I just like...
peed on dick?
Well, I started to pee. Like, I was just like... I didn't know where I was.
any
I
pee
started
is
to
you've
pee,
done it.
Yeah.
and my dad woke up, he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa! What are you doing? The bathroom's over there! I was like,
Oh my God! You
Yeah,
peed on dick?
Just like any dad telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Bathroom's over there. It's not
tell me
stop
what
peeing on me. It's just like, you do that now. That's where you go.
Yeah, that's funny. My first
Yeah.
word would be no. Don't pee on me.
Whoa, wrong spot, son. We're going to put those training dicks back on you.
All right, so
It's a catheter, isn't it?
which Ben Franklin invented.
Oh yeah.
Hey!
Was that a fact?
Fact.
He didn't invent the diaper, so it only went so far.
They're
We don't need catheters. We need hard diapers.
Depensman.
We need hefty diapers.
It's not-
dude.
Made by Hefty?
We need a bald guy selling us diapers,
Yeah.
i.e. Mr. Clean Up Your Dick Mess.
Mr. Clean up your dick mess.
No, I mean, basically, it's not the King's Men, it's the Depensmen.
Yeah. The Dependables.
Yeah, the Dependables.
The Expendables.
Yeah, the
Expendables.
the Expendables version of the geriatric version with Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger in the new movie The Dependables with a bunch of shitty, ripped idiots
That have
in
incontinence.
wheelchairs. And they're at a checkers tournament,
There's
and
poop
everyone's
and stuff.
shitting themselves, and no one remembers where the fuck they are the entire time. And Jason Statham, guess what he plays?
governor.
No, he's just the dude wheeling him around.
Oh, transporter.
And they keep telling him to go back to England.
Yeah. This
whole
summer,
time.
the Dependables.
Go burn me out of the chest.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman can be there too.
Yeah, well, he's pretty much a human diarrhea already. He's falling apart.
All right, okay, all right. So, if you remember...
Oh, yeah, Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah.
If you remember, the position Will was in as the governor was something that Ben had raised him. He'd raised him to be loyal to the crown.
Yeah.
And Will had sworn an oath to be the governor of New Jersey. And all of a sudden, Ben was like, throw out your entire world that I created for you.
Right.
Join me.
What a thing to say.
Join me.
I've never been told to throw out my entire world, and I go on the internet. You know what I mean? That's a rough insult. I would expect to see that out of like B /B/.
Yeah.
That's a 4chan. That's
shit.
a 4chan insult, right? Throw out your entire world. Beep.
Yeah, so...
I mean, I raised you to always wear shoes in public, but you gotta wear socks and sandals from now on. You understand? You understand?
Entire world.
You got nothing. This is what you need.
this is what you have to do,
I'm
son.
not gonna apologize. I'm just saying it's different.
So this argument devolved into a drunken shouting match that was loud enough to wake the neighbors. And
Wait, they're in a mansion. Where's the nearest neighbors?
I don't know. Apparently, there's neighbors.
Who builds a house next to another house when you have a billion fucking acres to work
Well,
with?
they're in Perth Amboy. It's kind of developed.
All right, fine.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would I'd drive by it.
You woke the... Anyway, it was more difficult. I want everyone to know it was more difficult to wake the neighbors with a rowdiness
Exactly.
back then.
Mm-hmm.
So in the morning, Ben Franklin leaves the governor's mansion, writing his son completely out of his life.
Oh.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, son.
The sun has set.
Sorry about this, but it does sound funny getting the will out of the will.
I think that just blew all of our dad jokes for the evening.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm not
done.
going to say anything for the rest of this episode.
Let me join you.
A few months later...
I changed my mind.
Yeah, no, don't pull on me, dude. All right, so a few months later, after William tried to hold down his power, he was arrested, and he was taken from his family, Elizabeth, and his young son, Temple.
Yeah.
You remember Temple and Elizabeth?
Named after a school, which is, already a scam, so whatever.
And he was placed under, like, a house arrest by the ex-governor of Connecticut, John Trumbull.
Very cool.
A cushy white-collar house arrest where he was not permitted to, like, have outside communications with his wife or son, but still could, like, get drunk in taverns and things.
What is that arrangement? That's strange as fuck.
Yeah.
I want to get that.
Can I get that? How do I get that?
Well, you know what? We have to work on getting a little richer, and then we'll get it.
Yeah.
Help us out. Patreon.com/RoseBroadcast.
5-star license. So Elizabeth and Temple were scared alone in the governor's mansion. Drunken soldiers roamed the streets of Perth Amboy. They would throw rocks through their window and threaten to kill them. All of a sudden, Benjamin Franklin swoops in to check on Elizabeth and Temple.
Swoop in.
Whoa! I'm coming in from Philly. What?
Yeah, he was on those Philadelphia vines that grow all over the landscape. Just
Just his
Brendan Fraser in.
his 75-year-old self. Woo!
Hello.
So he shows up and comforts them for the night. He helps them secure important documents and valuables.
Sleep on my man tits.
Right.
I'll comfort you.
In the next morning, Benjamin Franklin tells his grandson Temple that he had important work that he needed him to help with, and he needed to come back to Philly with him. So Ben stayed pretty vague about what this help was, and Elizabeth wasn't really happy about it, but she was like, all right, I know he's in good hands with his grandfather.
Of course, this guy?
Yeah.
He's the best.
This guy. So she figures, all right, this is going to be like a brief stay in Philly. Go ahead, go with your grandfather. So the next day, Ben and Temple leave on a stagecoach off to Philly. They make a brief stop at Benjamin Franklin's home, collecting some luggage.
Didn't he have a billion homes?
Yeah. Then head to the docks.
Okay.
And you see, Ben had become America's ambassador to France and was bringing Temple along for an 8-year business trip.
That's hefty.
Oh, cool. That's very good, actually.
So he stole Temple from his mother, who was already alone, because her husband has been arrested.
Okay.
It's time to move on.
Right?
Jeez.
And and Elizabeth didn't have any conversation with her husband at all. So she was literally alone in this house where people are like, we're going to go into your fucking house and rape you. And Ben's like, yeah, I'm going to take your kid away.
I'm gonna borrow this kid. He's gonna help me put my fishnets on when I want to get kinky.
Right. That is the cruelest and most unusual punishment.
Right.
Well, he's the only person I know at that height.
All right, before I get into Ben and Temple's mishaps in gay Paris, let's talk a little bit about what happened with William and Elizabeth, because it is really a tragic story.
All right, great.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just
Wait.
imagining the Hanna-Barbera cartoon called Ben and Temple.
And what do they do together?
They get in a lot of mischief, and there's always a policeman with a giant nose that looks like a tumor coming out of his face.
Oh, the mischief.
Doing this. You see what I'm doing with my arms? I know you can't see it at home, but you know what I'm doing. It's Hanna-Barbera.
That's flailing. That's called flailing.
It is flailing, and
Watch your beer. Watch your beer.
Whoa! So William's living this cushy sentence with the upper brass in this prison camp, with a tavern in Connecticut. And William was actually a very high value prisoner for exchange. So, with war, you could exchange prisoners.
The money.
Yeah.
It's war money.
At times, the Americans could have used him to get some, good soldiers back. But William was never exchanged. And guess who was the representative of prison exchanges?
Ben Franklin?
Ben Franklin!
Oh, you beat me.
My son loves his house. He spent a lot of time building that one area of it. It's not done yet, but he's still building it.
It's a nook. It's the breakfast nook.
Yeah, I would hate if he wasn't able to finish it.
Yeah. He's a stay up there in Connecticut kid. So William was an inspiration to the Loyalists because he was the only American to become a royal governor. And his resilience to his duty in the crown was unquestionable. Somehow he was able to correspond with fellow Loyalists, and one of the strongholds for Loyalists was New York City.
Hey.
And he started to issue pardons for fellow Loyalists to the crown.
Oh.
As the American troops would lead in or whatever, he'd issue this pardon, yada, yada, yada.
That's borderline treasonous.
Well, it depends on how you're looking at it. But he's also doing this from jail,
Okay.
Anyway, he was caught doing this, and in 1777, William was sent to the Litchfield Gaol. Is that how you pronounce that?
How do you spell it?
Gaol?
Gaol is pronounced jail.
Jail?
Yes.
Spelled wrong?
No, that's the UK version of spelling jail.
All right, Litchfield Gaol.
Yeah, jail.
I never heard that.
That's how they spell it over there.
Say it one more time. Spell that again for drunk me.
Gaol.
Jail.
Are you fucking me?
No, that's dumb.
That's another way you spell jail. It's the UK. You know how UK has a U in color? That's how they do jail.
Well, not only am I sad, but I'm hungry.
UK.
You guys hungry?
UK,
Yeah.
right in, back me up on this.
Aluminium, mate.
Vitamins.
Vitamin. So he's sent to this Litchfield jail, which was one of the most inhumane prison holdings the Patriots had
Why the
set
fuck
up.
were you doubting me if that was the next line?
Well, I don't know. I thought it was pronounced differently.
No. You're like, it's a prison. I'm like, of course.
Yeah, I knew it was a prison, but I thought it was pronounced gaol.
No, it's pronounced jail.
All right, so he's in the worst of the worst prison now. Remember, he was a governor. Now they're sending him to this prison. His cell had one small window, no bed, and one bucket.
He's got the bucket though.
It was also located right above a rowdy 24-hour bar, so that inmates were
good jail.
No, but inmates were kept up from all the partying.
But you open your mouth under the cracks and get drunk from the.
No, it's above it.
Yeah, you open your mouth under the cracks. And
Throw
let the
me a
bar
beer.
seat. Yeah.
Throw me a
Bar
beer.
down.
You just get straight up bottled, and it doesn't work out that way. You're just bleeding with no bucket.
That was bleach, you idiot.
He was not allowed to change his clothes there and could not leave the cell. Weeks turned into months. William lost all of his teeth.
What?
Because of
That's
just
like a nightmare of
not
mine.
being able to clean.
Jesus. Oh, no.
And he started to go mad. He actually became so weak and emaciated that he couldn't walk.
Oh, okay. So he became a scarecrow man.
Right. All while he still could not have communication with his wife Elizabeth, who eventually had to flee the governor's mansion as she feared her safety. You got people saying, I'm going to rape you every day.
Yeah. It's just like every time a school bus goes by.
Rape ya.
It's only ice cream truck jingle.
The rape. Yeah.
No more rape jokes. No more rape jokes.
Maybe
That's
one.
bad.
Maybe,
Well, you know
maybe
what?
one more.
That's really bad.
You know what? You can thank our patriot founding fathers for saying that shit.
We have nothing to back that up. It's just a bad joke, and we're having a
Yeah.
great time.
So she fled for safety to the loyalist stronghold of Manhattan.
Hey.
Now, but the thing was Elizabeth had always had poor lungs. She suffered probably from a form of asthma.
Poor lungs.
Poor lungs.
It's the saddest thing ever. Because
Behind those giant breastises, you have some terrible lungs.
no, poor lungs is just a sad thing because you know it's your nurse trying to convey you're not dying now, but it's never gonna be great.
No.
So you just have poor lungs.
Yeah.
She would get some type of medicine. I don't know what it was, but she would get some type of medicine from
Seltzer.
Philly
Baby corns.
that would make her feel better. But in Manhattan, it was under British martial law and was basically a cesspool like it is today, rife with disease. And luckily, Elizabeth had a family friend who put her up in an apartment. But her cough got really bad, and the doctors feared the worst. So she wrote to Jonathan Trumbull, the guy who was in charge of William's captivity,
Right.
and begged him to allow her to see William, or some type of released on bail or something, like escorted,
Right.
some type of deal like that.
Okay.
Now Trumbull, he used to be friends with William, so he was able to slip William the letter in the jail, because this was actually
the gowl.
the gowl. This was like fucking heartbreaking. So Will pleaded with Trumbull to let him at least write a letter. But unfortunately, he wasn't allowed to write any letters, so he had someone transpose a letter that he wanted to go to Congress in order to release him to see his dying wife, right?
Oh, sure.
But William thought it would be better to write George Washington, because Washington had been a family friend. They had fought in the French-Indian War together. And at the time, Washington was stationed up in Newburgh, New York, and he sent this letter over. And George Washington, who was a very stern man,
Yes.
read the letter and actually broke his heart. So he responded back and said, "Well, I don't have the power to parole you, William. I'll write a letter to Congress on my behalf."
A presidential recommendation.
Well, he wasn't the president,
yeah,
but
Yeah. Pre-president.
So it was sent to Congress, and Congress was not so kind. They refused him.
Oh, shit.
And a few months later, Elizabeth died alone in an apartment in New York City.
Come on.
All while William was alone, stuck with his own thoughts in this gaol.
That's a go. Yeah,
That little tearjerker.
Right?
You're jerking something other than peen tonight, Travis.
I know. Well,
your little cigarette breath laugh at the end of that just made it even worse.
Right?
I'm just yeah.
this had poor lungs. I was trying to demonstrate that.
Yeah.
What is that, bag cigarettes? Jesus.
Yeah.
After all this shit, Will Franklin's eventually exchanged for an American prisoner. Now,
And then he got over here, and they were like, "We don't want him. Send him back."
no, Ben was like a freed man, but he was broken both physically and mentally.
Will, you mean, right?
Yes, Will, sorry. But he wasn't about to give up on America altogether and head back to England. He knew that a third of the population was still loyal to the crown, so he formed a loyalist spy ring and militia that was based out of Lloyd Neck on Long Island.
Wow.
Yes.
Right next door.
Everything's so local and in spitting distance.
Yep.
I won't dox my friend, but there has been a lot of battles there.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of camps were set up there.
Well, his camp.
Yes, and if you want to, I'm not saying you should do this. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But maybe you sneak onto some properties real late at night with a metal detector.
Yeah.
And go have some fun.
If you want to.
If you want to.
On your own volition.
That's right. Not necessarily a recommendation, but a...
This thing you're throwing out to a microphone.
I don't have enough words. I'm drunk. Okay, you get what I'm saying.
You were looking for William Franklin's
I
shit.
wasn't. No one I know was. I'm not
Someone
here to throw
was.
anyone under buses.
You're not a Benjamin Franklin.
No, I do not betray my friends like that.
He's scruples.
So the Patriots were becoming more and more barbaric to Loyalists. There was one case in William's home state of New Jersey where a group of Patriots strung up 10 Loyalists consisting of men and women, disemboweled them while they were alive, and then quartered their bodies and threw them into the woods.
Well, that's rude, isn't
Okay,
it?
that's for the bad guy. That execution's reserved for like
Yes.
fuckers.
No, they
Yeah.
were just doing this to regular people that were like, I don't
Jesus.
agree with you.
That's lynching plus.
Yeah. So William and his troops heard about this offense, and they captured a well-known Jersey pirate named Captain Hood.
Hey, that's for Mills.
Welcome down to Captain Hud's Hud Butt. We have stuff that you might want that I don't know where it came from.
A lot of
Yeah.
nines in the prices we offer.
Captain-
$9.99.
Captain Huddy was a world-class asshole. He had raped and raided ships along the shoreline for years. Everyone
Did you say
hated.
he raped,
He raped ships?
No,
Yeah.
he would rape.
Cody,
Tom,
I got that
yeah,
too.
he would rape ships.
You edit these. Can you play it back just one more time right here?
He had raped and raided ships.
Yeah. So he would go up those ships and be like, yeah.
Dude banging ships.
Hey, well, he was a rapist. All right, so he's a rapist. Not
Yeah.
funny.
Boat rapist.
Not funny.
Watch
Not
my
funny.
boat. Watch my boat.
Boat raping, pretty funny.
So, when the war broke out, he aligned himself with the American cause and started to target only British sexy ships and would execute loyalists.
Oh, okay.
So, this guy's a scumbag. This guy's an absolute scumbag, but just because he's with the American cause, they're like, you're a good guy.
They actually have his body on display in that Pirate's Life, for me, Disney water thing that they have going on, which I don't know why they have that for children.
Yeah.
Because it's just a bunch of animatronic boners.
With tetanus everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, his body would be on display because William and his loyalists capture him at Tom's River and then hang him for his crimes. The next morning, American rebels cut him down from the tree and started a riot.
Were they in time?
What's that?
Were they in time?
No, he was dead.
Oh, God damn it.
They claim that Huddy was an American hero, a patriot, and that he was murdered in cold blood. Again, these are the same groups of people that just disemboweled 20 normal citizens.
You know, it's not. I'm not going to say they're wrong because as Americans, we have American heroes that rape, and we have American heroes that don't rape.
With the pudding.
So you know, it's just a different curriculum.
Okay, so
Jesus Christ.
so this whole hanging of Captain Huddy caught the ears of the Continental Congress, and they called for William to be arrested for murder. And then at this point, William was like, I tried, fuck this country. I tried to do the right thing.
I feel like that every morning.
I
right?
tried to do the right thing,
Same, yep.
but these people are fucking stupid and they're driven by greed and mob justice.
Yep, every
So-
morning. I wake up and feel
Yeah.
that.
So he fucked off back to England, never to return to America.
That's where the similarities stop.
So while this whole bloody revolution is happening, what's up with Ben Franklin? What's he doing?
What is up with Fran Franklin?
What up with Franklin? Well, Ben and Temple, like I said, sailed off to France. And you know what happens when Ben is in Europe, right?
Yeah,
He gets a boner.
He puts his dick in a pond.
Yeah!
A pond of loose women.
Hell yeah. And Ben is even more of a celebrity in France. Everyone wanted to meet him. There was a big in vogue at the time to build statues and paintings of him and put them in their houses.
And we do know from the previous episode how much he liked to have things painted of him.
He loved it.
That sounds like the Kim Jong family.
Yeah.
A lot, actually, to an uncomfortable degree.
So even though he was in his 70s, he was hooking up with chicks left and right. And Ben's official business in France was a diplomat.
Of course, that's everyone's business in France.
Right? You know?
You can park anywhere.
Yeah.
The whole thing was the Americans were getting their butts pushed in by the British.
Just a little bit. Shut up.
And
Just a little bit.
They needed to align themselves with a powerful, ally. And who hates the British the most? The French.
French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a diplomat, all you really do is schmooze and party, And Franklin did that for 9 years over there.
Really?
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
French
And
parties.
what were the start date to end date?
I think it was 1777 to, when would that be? Math?
No, I'm not doing math now.
1786.
Yeah.
How are we?
So he was over there for 9 years, and while he was successful, in helping Americans, he got the French to help out. And I think without the French, we wouldn't be a country, really.
No.
Yeah, so
It's a given. I've accepted that since grade school.
So thanks, Benny from the Mummy, for being on the wrong side of the river.
Merci.
Yeah. So, well, I don't really want to harp on the fact that he was fucking everything in sight because, I mean, good for him. He's in his 70s, and remember, Deborah's dead, so he's not cheating on anyone.
Well, what about the other one?
Who?
The one he moved in on, what was it, Craven Street?
Oh, that was just like his friendly, like, fake wife.
Fake wife. Very cool. Very interesting.
Yeah.
That's, history made.
Right. I will get into some details about Ben's sexual interests.
Finally.
The first big one was Madame Brillon.
And when you say big one,
Wow.
Yeah, big one.
was she big? She got fucking nice can situation.
She was said to be the prettiest woman in France.
Do you know how fat her bush must have been if she's a French woman and her name is almost Brillo? Like, just machete material.
She was actually 33 years old.
Machete material.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
And she was married to a French diplomat, but it was France, so they don't really
They don't
care.
discriminate. They just, what's the can situation? That's all that matters.
And
can.
Yeah, and Ben Franklin's there in his 70s with bad gout going like, yeah, give it to me.
Is that what bad gout looks like, Travis?
Yeah.
A hopped up Danny DeVito?
Like, most of those people didn't live as long as we live now, but they ate better, so they were able to get their boners harder.
Frog's legs. Good for your heart valves, maybe.
Totally.
Well, he tried hard. He was really into her. She flirted back with him. She would sit in his lap and kiss him.
Ooh, that's
But
flirting, right?
She never put out.
Oh, that's not flirting.
And she told him that I will become your wife in paradise on the condition that you will not make too many conquests with the heavenly maidens while you're waiting for me.
And I'm
No.
assuming he was out of the door before she finished that sentence.
Yep. He
I'm
was
not
out the door.
signing no prenups.
Slamming whores again, hell yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'll
actually
do it.
made her jealous.
Slime and whores
like-
made her jealous?
No, she's like, this 70-year-old man's like, fuck you, I'm gonna go bang some whores.
Yeah, I'm a slip and slide down some pussy road.
Then-
I don't know what that means.
Then he
I like
set,
it, though.
Then he sets his eyes on Madame Helvetius. Kind of like
It's a
Helvetica.
font, yeah.
Yeah.
You know it's sexy if she's named after a font. Let me kiss Cambria.
So
Dude, the hottest chick on the internet right
Sans-
now, Comic
com-
Sans.
Comic Sans. I like Papyrus.
Joker
She's a little
Man,
bit kinkier.
yeah.
Oh, dude. Well, tell the lawnmowers that she's hanging out on.
Hey, baby. Baby, come here. I want to take you tonight, sans serif.
Ooh. Disgusting.
Yeah, really.
Oh, it probably won't be hard for a week now. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome. Stay out of trouble, kids.
So I'm just gonna call her Helvetica. Helvetica
Got it.
was more in his age range. She was a foxy 6-year-old. Or 6-year-old. 6-year-old.
Stop the podcast!
No! Stop it! No! A foxy 60-year-old.
I need an adult. I need an adult.
Foxy is not a number. It's not 40, Foxy, 60.
40.
It might be in Roman numerals.
She was a foxy 60-year-old.
Holy fuck,
That-
Travis. The FBI is listening now.
God damn it.
That owned one of the most happened salons in Paris.
Can't do that if you're not 18, right, Travis?
She's 60.
All right, good. Just clarifying for everyone.
And Ben straight up begged her to fuck him.
All right.
As a 60-year-old.
Yeah. Says, if this lady is pleased to spend her days with Franklin, talking in the third person like a real fucking psycho,
I'd love that. Oh, okay.
he would be just as pleased to spend his nights with her. And since he has already granted so many days, of which he has so few remaining, she seems to be ingrate for having granted him not a single night.
All right, 2 questions. What did that mean? And then 2, what was the cans like?
Both very vital questions.
I'm gonna say like cans were like
2 cans?
G's.
Okay, my first question didn't matter.
All right, but no, what it means is like he's like, yo, I don't have like that many days left, and we're hanging out all the time. You could like just give me one night. Just give me like one night to bang.
Is he asking for a sympathy blower?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh.
Bad news bear right there. Bad news bear.
He would actually propose to her twice, and she declined because she was a free French woman.
They can do that, yeah.
All right.
They did fuck, though, eventually.
French.
All right. Do they use a condom?
Probably not.
It's France.
There was actually a lot of suspicion still that Ben was a spy.
The frumpy fuck across the room who can't stand up is a spy?
Right. Yeah, he's just a spy, and it didn't really help.
Was he just like one of those old guys where, like, when they sit down, they sit for hours and hours and people forget about them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good spy tactic.
That's what he actually would do. He'd, like, sit in a corner and, like, kind of fall asleep. And then, like, some lady would come over and, like, sit on his lap.
And whisper state secrets into his unconscious ear?
Yeah, just kind of announcing yourself into the room, like, to the point where no one cares. It's me, Ben. Pay me no mind. I'm just here to have a good time. Maybe a cup of coffee while I'm here. You know what? It's a little late. Make it tea.
It's me, Ben, the possible spy.
So while he was in France, he kept in he didn't travel to England, but he kept in constant contact with all of his fellow gentlemen that he made friends with while he was living over there.
Good on him.
So people were like, I don't know. And Franklin just didn't like America.
That's such a weird sentence.
Yeah, he was just kind of done with it. Yeah, he actually said this: "I am here amongst a people that love and respect me, the most admirable nation to live with, and perhaps I may conclude to die amongst them. For my friends in America are dying off one after another, and I have been so long abroad that I should almost be a stranger to my own country."
That's fucky.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel when I'm anywhere and I'm not at the Cheesecake Factory.
They have such a good variety.
Dude, it's like you're going into Egypt.
It's obnoxious. It's just obnoxious. What's up with the lighting?
I like the Egyptian themes because nothing screams cheesecake more than Egypt.
And sand. My God, the sand is just regular sand.
No diet sand in that establishment.
Nope.
So that was part of Ben's whole proposing to Madame Helvetica, was that he hoped to marry her and then just never return back to America. So another shot he had at staying in France was that...
I love
it's
your,
already a good
your
joke.
segues are amazing.
Yeah, another...
One more.
Eat more fresh croissants. Another way you did it.
Another croissant way of saying it was that he wanted to marry off Temple Franklin into the French nobility. But Temple was a whole nother beast. He was the typical spoiled, bratty fuckboy.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ben sent him to all these prestigious schools, and Franklin had flunked out, but Ben would go along saying, "Oh, it's not Temple's fault. He's a good boy."
Good boys flunk.
Of course.
And he would also just spend loads of money, and that kind of rubbed off on John Adams, who actually came over to France, and he called Temple a base-born brat, which essentially ruined his career in any type of American diplomacy.
I'm going to ruin
and
this
politics.
man's career right now.
I said one thing, and it ruined a whole country for him.
It's pretty powerful.
Temple was on the prowl for married women. He fucked actresses. He fucked nobility. Anything that he could get his hands on. And Ben would front him money to go buy whores and get drunk and like be like, oh, like, you know, there's like those grandfathers or grandparents that are like, my grandchild can't do anything wrong. Like that's what Ben was like.
I mean, if you have one of those grandparents, you're lucky because they're right, and you've done nothing wrong.
Can we also agree fronting is the most hilarious verb ever?
Fronting?
Fronting.
I think there are funny ones.
I
don't know, man.
I'm going to front you.
I fronted.
Front me.
It'll grow on you.
Yeah, I'll repeat it in my head while Travis is reading. I won't pay attention to him.
I want to join you. I'll join you.
Eventually, in 1785, at the age of 79, Ben Franklin was relieved of his diplomatic status in France. He would be replaced by no other than Thomas Jefferson, who was one of Franklin's biggest fans with the founding fathers.
Of course.
You know, Thomas liked it loose. Ben liked it loose.
No one likes it loose. Holy shit.
No, they love it loose. This is the basket boy Ben. Remember, he's like, I don't give a shit if they're old.
I want to tight.
Put a basket
on
their
the top of the body, and if the body is still in the basket, then you must fuck it.
Yeah.
There's a girdle for a reason.
Now, remember, Ben didn't want to leave. He felt it was home, but emotions aside, Ben and Temple boarded a ship and headed back to America. But if somehow by fate their ship was hit by a storm, and the captain decided to dock the ship at Southampton, England.
Good times.
Yeah, docking in the Hamptons.
Well, it seems like they may have went a little north by accident there.
Yeah, well, they're passing it. They're
Temple, stop fucking it. It's not a real woman. They just put it on the front of the ship for some symbolic reason.
God damn, Grandpa, look what I'm doing.
Put it away, Temple.
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 Charlie Temple.
Temple was permitted by Ben to see his father, William, and convinced Ben and William to meet for the first time in like decade.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And William looks like a broom at this point.
Yeah, he kind of bulked up a little bit. He was taking that protein powder.
So a push broom.
He actually got some dentures put in.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Is that part of the bulking up or just a side effect of the protein powder?
Yeah.
You just grow teeth.
The way they used to make them,
calcium.
you put the old school dentures in, you weigh 4 pounds heavier, just right off the bat.
You don't need that BMI fucking up.
So, in this meeting between son and father, Ben mainly discussed William's decade-old debts that he had accrued to his father.
Jesus Christ, what a bastard.
They also talked about turning over William's American-owned land to Temple.
Okay, he's just your daddy. He's not your sugar daddy.
Right.
You see your son? He's my son now. You're not my son.
So, William used the sales of his land in America to square away debts with his father. There was absolutely no reconciliation, and this would be the last time that William and Ben ever spoke.
Oh.
Ben's a real good guy. You know, I keep getting that out of this.
Yep, great dude.
Wait.
Oh, Ben survived the journey back. You'd imagine he's a very old man. This is a long journey.
Like the crypt keeper.
Yeah, if there's one wind too strong, he's gone. He's like the kite.
Yeah, he's all vain.
Yeah, he's discovering electricity again.
Yeah, he's all vain.
So he re-entered American politics and eventually helped create the U.S. Constitution.
That's a good one.
And in 1790, at the ripe old age of 84, Ben Franklin died of pleurisy.
Oh, okay.
Which is a condition where your lungs get inflamed and it becomes harder and harder to breathe. Before everyone says, oh, it's because he smoked. He didn't smoke. Don't worry about it. I'm sure a doctor would blame it on smoking nowadays.
I gotta ask. You didn't ask us a question.
Oh!
So, you're fired.
Oh, no.
I do that all the time, though.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of episodes.
Am I going to jail?
You're going to jail.
You're going to Gal.
Oh, I'm going to Gaul.
You're going to Gaul. Have a nice time in Gallstone Prison.
Oh, no. The prison made out of fused gallstones?
It's stinky bile.
Yeah. What is that? What does that smell like? Cheese.
Cheese and soft cum.
Hard.
I mean, that's redundant.
No,
hard old cum.
Well,
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, soft cum. It's cum that comes out of a dick that's soft.
Oh.
It's pink.
Swinging it around.
It's bloody.
Do you know if you shake your dick really hard
Everyone stop.
and it's soft, you'll eventually come just everywhere.
Yeah, and
Like-
and you'll have to answer to someone
Yeah.
later.
God.
Well, that's the end of the scummy man, the legend, Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin.
Good save. I
All
saw
right.
what you did there.
So that's the end of Brent Franklin. Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
I do, but before I move on, what are your thoughts about old Ben? Not from Star Wars. That's a different thing.
All right.
That's a good Ben. I like that Ben.
In short, I think he had a real good taste, but he was a real crummy dude.
What good taste in what?
You know, basket women.
Yeah. Wicker women.
Yeah. You know, I'm here, you know. I'm looking at this guy. I'm
Are you
like,
paying attention?
wow, what a guy. He got his portrait painted a bunch.
Yeah.
He had property. He went from a middling to a gentleman,
Yeah.
He was an apron man.
He's an apron boy.
He was on both sides. He could see that he was very fair.
No.
All right, that was a stretch. But I don't know. He's a scumbag. Like, what else do you want?
He's not the American hero we all thought he was.
Every time you get $100 in your bank account, you got one scum.
In fact, like that whole
like that.
that whole myth of him becoming I'll get into a little bit more in a bit, but that whole thing about Ben Franklin being like this perfect American was something that developed during the 19th century.
Yeah, it seems like a relatively soon thing from what you said. Like it seemed like it'd have to transpire after people forgot some things. If I'm right.
I mean, what do you think about him, Cody?
He's not he's not Captain America.
Yeah.
You take it at face value that he's a good guy because he's just on the currency, but we know from maybe what was it, an Andrew Jackson episode, that everyone on a dollar bill isn't a good guy.
Yeah,
they might be
Very true.
might be a little bit of a fuckwad in disguise. Or,
Amen. No, I didn't mean to end your thing. I was doing a gospel amen.
Here's the
I was going to
thing.
do a couple more.
Here's the thing. Your amen came at the moment I ran out of words, so we're all good.
Oh, hell yeah.
Amen.
All right, so let's do a little post-mortem right now.
I
Wait,
love it.
I don't understand that term.
You mean we're
even though I named
continuing
this
this
podcast.
two-part episode?
Yes, it's even longer.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, you want to know what happens to William and Temple, right?
Cody?
Do you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trust me, it's fun.
I still have a little stuff in my can.
All right, let's go. Let's find about Willie and Tempe.
All right, so Benjamin Franklin's will reflected the spiteful, self-serving man that he
You say
was.
will, you mean his final will and
His
testament.
final will and testament.
Not his boa.
So the people thought that he would have given his 4,000 book collection to the library company, which would later become the National Archive. Nope, he gave a small multi-volume set to the library, and the rest he gave the temple.
Okay, well, he's a smart kid, so he needs books.
Needs books. The majority of his wealth and personal papers actually went to Temple, some going to his daughter's family, Sally, I think it was.
Okay.
William got nothing. He got a he got one thing actually. He got a shitty piece of land in Nova Scotia.
Whoa! How'd that get in there?
That Ben had actually sold before he died.
Oh.
Oh no!
And William also got the books and papers that he already possessed, and all of his debts were forgiven, which were already, there was no outstanding debts.
He already gave him the land in exchange for those debts.
Yeah. So he essentially got nothing.
Oh, well, that's nice.
And finally, let's just talk quickly about what happened to Temple Franklin. That spoiled fucking trust fund baby. He just, remember, Ben was one of the most, he was the richest person in America.
Yeah.
So, and most of that money went to Temple. So he's loaded, and he has all of Ben's papers, including Ben's unpublished autobiography.
Really?
Which was essentially like priceless, because everyone wanted it. Everyone in the world wanted this, and you can read it. Like,
Would Nicolas Cage steal it?
Nicolas Cage would steal it, and then put it in a beehive, and then put his face in and read it.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So what did Temple do? He went back to London to look for a publisher for his grandfather's book. Then he dicked around in London and got bored and moved to Paris. Just as his grandfather and his father did, he had a bastard out of wedlock.
Awesome.
Except this time, we knew who the woman was. Her name was Ellen Johnson de Velen.
Or if you shorten it to Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
She was his stepsister. That's right. Daddy had remarried years after Elizabeth's death, and his son boned his wife's daughter. That's where America's obsession with stepsister porn comes from.
I don't know if
Damn!
All right.
Damn, dude.
It goes all the way back to when?
This would be the early 1800s.
1790s or maybe early 1800s.
I'm okay with this.
I don't think you have a choice.
Now, the interesting thing was, after the baby was born, Ellen was never mentioned again. And when I say never mentioned again, I mean no tombstone letter or even a diary entry was written about her. So some people think that this might have been foul play or like a gothic mystery where she just completely evaporated out of the annals of history.
Wow.
Well, that's sexy.
Evaporation from the annals of history. That is a fate worse than death, my friends.
So after the baby girl was born, named Ellen Franklin, Temple fucked off. And she was raised by William Franklin. And William would end up writing Temple out of his will, because he eventually accumulated a bunch of money, wrote Temple out of his will and gave the majority of his inheritance to Ellen.
What?
Yeah.
That's fucky as shit.
Right? So it's like a big old cycle.
That's the weirdest porn I've ever heard of.
It's a Ouroboros.
Yeah, Ouroboros.
Very nice.
I try.
Temple continued to power through Ben's inheritance, and instead of publishing Ben's autobiography, he started selling off various parts of Ben's papers to pay off debts. So he just broke up this autobiography by being like, oh, you can have page...
Did he smoke the boring pages?
Yeah, probably.
You do that too?
Every time.
Family circus.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1823, Temple died in Paris without a penny to his name.
Do they use pennies in Paris?
Probably. Probably say Paris penny.
Yep, a PP.
PP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that is where I'm going to end the Franklin lineage.
Oh, there we go.
Damn,
wow,
dude.
that was a hell of a turd to pass for 2 episodes, Travis. Thank you.
Yeah, well,
Holy
we
shit.
learned a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't think of a thing I haven't learned.
Like,
he had boners for turkey.
all of them like to bang chicks and then like bang it and forget it.
Yeah,
fire and forget.
You know what they are? At the end, they're just rude.
They're rude
because you don't know anyone anything. You
Right.
can be a nice person about it. Like,
Yeah.
hey,
Always be a nice person.
this isn't working out.
Yeah.
This just isn't.
I don't want to get the bun in the oven cooked to a croissant.
Dude,
that's like a motto of mine.
Yeah, don't you hate it when you have to like crack the croissant tube before it ovens up?
Dude,
you know what I mean?
I'm pro-life. Don't talk about that.
Me too.
You're pro-life?
I'm pro
Pro
butter.
croissant life.
I'm pro butter.
Pro-choice.
Very nice. All right, cool. Well, that is part 2 of the Benjamin Franklin roast mortem coverage. Wow. Are you listening still? Did you make it?
Yeah.
Did you do it?
Did you make it to the end?
I did. I'm here. I'm still half chubbed.
I'm drunk.
Me too.
And I remember things about a basket from the first episode.
Wicker, yeah.
Dude.
I still have to revisit those. So at the time you're hearing this, I haven't revisited that time I was drunk. So you're getting a treat, apparently.
Dude, I think I have a basket fetish.
That's difficult. I'm sorry.
You mean you trying to pop a basketball?
Yeah.
See what I've done there?
No.
One time I made a basket, but I almost chopped my thumb off, and it was really hard to make the basket.
With the blood loss and whatnot.
Yeah, no, that's a true story, though.
Well, that's amazing.
But it was too small to put over a woman's head.
Right, so you would never know.
Yeah.
So you just threw it out.
Yeah,
Like, what are baskets for if I can't put it over a woman's
head? I
head?
kicked it into the lake.
Yeah, lake basket.
God damn it, yeah. What did his dad do again? He made soap and candles, right?
Yeah,
Wax shit.
soap and candles.
Soap.
So we go from soap and candle apprenticeship to professional dirtbag.
Yep.
Starting a country, and then the Puritans take it over and give us a narrative and say it's all about religious freedom. Well, maybe one day we'll get there.
It's like when you have a Pokemon and it evolves and it gets worse, and you're just like, God damn it.
I just think it's hilarious. Well, it's ironic. Isn't it ironic?
It's like rain.
It's like rain. I think it's ironic that all the Franklins reigned in on people, and like it was just like a constant cum fest, right?
Yeah, cum fiesta.
What do you mean?
Cum fiesta.
What do
Like
you
they
mean?
were constantly
No,
coming.
Go into this.
Like,
What do you mean?
All right, so if you think about how many lives were lost in the Revolution,
4.
A lot.
a lot.
A lot. It was
How
a
much
bloody-
sperm did all these men shoot?
combined?
4.
Yeah,
A lot.
a lot.
Yeah, you're right.
Like the parallels between those two. That's why we had a civil war.
Yeah, there was just a bunch of blue sperms fighting gray sperms, and here we are now.
Yeah, well, history repeats itself in a different way when you shoot sperm.
That's right. Okay,
Every
so
time you shoot sperm
to find out what your sperm does, and
is capable of.
ladies,
You got
fine.
lady sperm.
It's an egg. It's way cooler.
Imagine if
we're shooting at jerks and they got these precious little pearls.
Imagine if they could shoot out all.
Different.
Imagine if they could shoot out all their eggs at once.
What was the sound?
You just it'd be like, and then you'd have like caviar all over the bed, and you'd be like, I love caviar.
Delicious.
Don't salt it.
Please don't salt.
It's better natural.
Please don't salt caviar.
All right. Well, on that disgusting, awful note,
we want you to remember us by that. That's our leaving note.
Yep. So you could follow us, Roast Mortem Podcast, on Roast Mortem Cast at. That's our Twitter, and it's also our Instagram, and we got a Facebook.
And the Gmail.
And we got the Gmail, roastmortempodcast@gmail.com. And we also got,
most importantly,
that's not the right address.
patreon.com.
Yes.
/roastmortemcast.
That's the important one.
Yeah. You know how many books I used for this?
Go there.
3?
What you're going to want to do.
Yeah. That's a good number.
Yeah.
It's the best way to get in contact. What you do is you sign up to become a Patreon.
We listen to you when you do that.
You give us $1. You write us a nasty, nasty comment, and then you don't go through with the payment. And that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I want a shit ton of Patreons with no money whatsoever. Let's do it.
We're here for the people.
Yeah.
Show us your bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks again. You can find me at Saunched, SAUNTCHT, on Twitter.
You can find me at Travis Legion with 2 E's.
On Twitter, Instagram, and I am Cody McCann.
Right.
On Twitter, at CODYMCCANN.
You don't have an Instagram? All right, cool. I'm cooler than
I
you.
do.
You don't even.
I do.
You don't even.
My
but you don't even
my
know. You wouldn't
Instagram
even know
is
if I had an Instagram.
Well,
my
last
Instagram is CodyMC109. It's a bad handle, and I'm ashamed of it.
One last note. Benjamin Franklin's Instagram account
What was it?
is Dank Benny.
Dank.
At Instagram.gmails suck a dick. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, throw me all the Benjamin Franklins.
Cheers,
I want
guys.
my body in all of them. I want a Scrooge McDuck out and wiggle it.
It's gotta be way easy to Scrooge McDuck into paper than gold coins.
You get paper.